is made in collaboration with Leica. I mean, जो lenses हैं वो Leica ने बना के दिए हैं, and the entire hardware is really fantastic. The phone feels like a flagship phone. काफी interesting features हैं, things like the latest Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 processor. We have a nice Quad HD Plus display, 5000 mAh battery, and I mean everything packed in this nice looking package. Let's have a closer look कि आखिर क्या features हैं all together इस Xiaomi 14 Ultra में, and then I'm gonna tell you what do I think. मतलब इस फोन के बारे में मेरे क्या थॉट्स हैं, so that you can make an informed decision of buying or not buying this phone.
Forget ordinary. The Xiaomi 14 Ultra has arrived to redefine smartphone power. Its massive 6.73-inch display doesn't just boast eye-popping resolution, ये blaze through करता है with a 120Hz refresh rate, making every swipe and scroll buttery smooth. And for those clumsy moments, rest assured the display's toughened protection can handle the occasional bump or drop. Under the hood, the Ultra pack करता है 16 GB of RAM, जो कई
This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV 24/7.
Hello, Moto.
Good evening, you're watching the news. I'm Vishnu Shom. The headlines: the Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal walks out of jail after being granted an interim bail by the Supreme Court. The court says he is not a habitual offender. Kejriwal must return to Tihar on the 2nd of June. His case will be heard next week as well.
Bharat Mata Ki!
The Election Commission accuses Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge of making baseless allegations to create confusion, misdirection and impediments in the conduct of free and fair polls. Mr. Kharge had raised questions on how the voter turnout in the first and second phase had gone up. The Congress says the Election Commission response is a blot on its reputation. Our top story, Arvind Kejriwal, the Delhi Chief Minister, has been released from Delhi's Tihar jail hours after the Supreme Court granted him interim bail till the 1st of June. The Chief Minister, arrested in March in the alleged liquor policy scam, can campaign for his Aam Aadmi Party in the 2024 Lok Sabha election. Mr. Kejriwal cannot refer to the case that he faces in connection with the liquor scam while he is out, but he can campaign, as I mentioned. Significantly, the court said that he was not a threat to society and that a liberal view was needed in the backdrop of the Lok Sabha polls. Moments after stepping out, Mr. Kejriwal spoke to party workers and immediately hit out at the government. The political implications of his release are likely to be major. Well, joining me now, my colleagues Mohammad Ghazali and Vedant Agarwal. Ghazali, firstly, you were at Tihar jail. Could you describe to us some of the scenes when Arvind Kejriwal came out?
All the political leaders had gathered here. Even Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann, Saurabh Bhardwaj, Atishi and other leaders from the AAP's Delhi unit had arrived here, ministers in the cabinet. And this entire stretch of the road right now where I'm standing outside gate number 3 of Tihar prison, it was all blocked. Then Arvind Kejriwal came from another gate, that is gate number 4, and then he took a detour and came on this street and addressed the gathering and supporters and thanked the judges thanked his supporters as well, that due to whom he was out of the jail, and also asked his supporters to come and support him tomorrow when he will be going to Hanuman Mandir, and after that a press briefing. So kind of a political speech, a political campaign started right after he met that exit from the jail, asking supporters that this is the election to save democracy, and thanked the Supreme Court judges for bringing him out on interim bail.
Vedant, you're outside Arvind Kejriwal's house. What happens next for him? Is he going to be campaigning in Delhi? Is there an expectation of leaders of the India Alliance coming together, campaigning together?
The campaign has already begun with that political speech of Arvind Kejriwal's outside Tihar. But let me first show you visuals here. There are dhols outside the Chief Minister's residence. You have, flowers and the entire residence being decked up ahead of the Chief Minister's arrival here.
All right, apologies, we've lost that line with Ghazali, but we'll try and come back to that in a moment. Let's go straight across to our guests who join us at this stage. Shadan Farasat, advocate in the Supreme Court. Aryama Sundaram, senior advocate of the Supreme Court, also with us. Also Amit Tiwari, spokesperson of the Delhi BJP. Let me go straight across to Mr. Tiwari first. Sir, how do you react to the developments today in the Supreme Court and Arvind Kejriwal walking out of the Supreme Court on interim bail? Do you believe this might have a major impact politically on the NDA?
No, this will not have any impact. The reason is this. In 2014 also, Mr. Kejriwal was not in custody. He campaigned. In 2019 also, he campaigned throughout Delhi, not only Delhi, but surrounding areas also. But BJP won all 7 seats of Delhi. So we don't see it as if there is much impact which is going to be there. But certainly, I want to expose their character. That please see that what the order says. The order says that the Kejriwal has challenged challenge the legality or illegality of the very arrest. Therefore, since we have not been able to decide it, keeping in view the circumstances that in every 5 years there are elections and more than 90 crore people are going to cast their votes. Therefore, under these circumstances, we are only releasing him so that because he's a political person. Now, a narrative is sought to be created by Aam Aadmi Party by saying that the court has saved the democracy, the constitution, and Kejriwal is innocent. If that narrative which they are trying to set up is to be believed, then the same court, the Honorable Supreme Court, rejected the bail application of Mr. Manish Sisodia, holding out that yes, liquor scam is prima facie established, money trail to the extent of rupees 337 crore is prima facie and tentatively established. Does that mean that Mr. Manish Sisodia
But Amit, at the same time,
does that mean that Mr. Sorry?
At the same time, the Supreme Court did allude to the fact that it's been 1.5 years since the FIR was filed, and that it's taken a time. Why couldn't he have been arrested earlier on? That's certainly a factor that went into the order.
Let me respond to that as well, because I have also heard from the media and the responses that ED submitted before the Honorable Court. The first is the ED said that we did not have any material initially, therefore our line of questioning was not in that line. But subsequently, when we got statements of Mr. C. Arvind and other people, then obviously we started investigating his role also, and therefore his role came. Now, second point, why 1.5 years? Initially, the investigation was in a different manner. Now it has been in the line of the Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. Secondly, the first summons to him was issued in the month of October 2023. Then he did not go. He repeatedly avoided 9 summons, created a situation, and thereafter went to the Honorable High Court saying that please protect me, there will be an illegal arrest. The summons are illegal. The High Court rejected the submission, and thereafter he was arrested. So it's not that the ED or out of some political vendetta, he's being arrested just before the election. If he would have joined the investigation way back in October 2023, I believe that the things would have been certainly different. Okay. And secondly...
Okay, one second, Amit. I'm also joined by Shadan Farasat, the senior Supreme Court lawyer who's been involved in this case. I found one statement by Justice Khanna important when he said that he is likely to pass an order soon, that he will continue hearings next week and he might pass an order thereafter. Is this, in your sense, a case which is moving quite fast, Shadan?
Yes, so at the Supreme Court level, I think it's been moving quite fast. Right from the day one, there has been an indication from the court that they want to hear it. Because the issues raised were relating to the legality of arrest itself and Section 19 of the Act, And there are aspects which need to be considered by the court in terms of legal aspects, which are possibly arising also for the first time, given the nature of the case. Therefore, the court was of the view that the hearings will take time, and rightly so, and we also agreed with the court. And therefore, interim release is the necessity, given that the arrest has happened during the election process.
Shraddhan, I'm just trying to understand, we have Amit Tiwari of the BJP with us as well, and he makes the point that it isn't correct to necessarily say that the arrest has been delayed because, Kejriwal may not have been in the center of suspicion earlier on, and that even when he was, he never turned up for questioning. What is how has the court looked at this argument?
See, we have placed our argument quite clearly before the court. Now, the main matter is still pending before the court. We have quite clearly stated that all the material that was available with the enforcement directorate was available as early as mid of last year. Therefore, even if we take October 2023, that's also very belated. So October 2023 is no great argument, but be that as it may, the court has passed an interim order as of today. I would not want to, because I'm a lawyer in the matter, I would not want to comment any more on that. And we have already placed all responses to whatever is available in the public domain, which people are stating. As for the court to take a call on that.
So, Shraddhan, just as a matter of fact, the court will now be taking a final call on the legality of his arrest, right? That hearing continues.
That is correct. So basically, the main ground raised by us is that Section 19 requires a prima facie view based on the material available that the person is guilty of money laundering. And according to us, nothing there which ED has produced, even taking the case at its highest, does that. And that's the material based on which the court will take a final call whether the arrest was legal or illegal.
All right. Thanks very much, for sharing time and explaining that. Aryama Sundaram also joins us. Thanks very much for being with us. So it's interim bail. He has to be back in Tihar on the 2nd of June. But as far as interim bail is concerned, how rare is that? And the reason which has been given is that one of the reasons the court looked at was that it gives him a chance to campaign. Is that a fair reason for a person to be granted interim bail?
Well, I believe interim bail is always an exception. It's never a rule. But at the same time, it's never ruled out. In fact, it's very interesting that in giving their judgment, the bench relied and referred to a judgment of Justice Sanjeev Khanna when he was in the Delhi High Court. And in fact, noticed that interim bail is given when either regular bail can't be given or there are pending matters where the bail application itself is pending. So the very concept of interim bail is it is given when at that date you are not ready to give a regular bail. Ergo, it is an exception. It is certainly an exception. It's not a rule. But at the same time, it is an exception with precedent. So what has happened today was not unprecedented. It's something with precedent. You were also asking me about the reason for granting bail to enable him to stand for elections. In fact, that is found to be a very serious reason why this bail application, interim bail, should be considered and granted. And the reason is this. The bench has found that democracy, of course, goes to the root of the Indian Constitution. It's a basic feature of our Constitution. The court goes on to say that when a national party leader is faced with a general election where the Lok Sabha is going to be voted for, it is a matter which affects the country at large. This is the effect of the judgment. I'm not quoting from the judgment, the effect of the judgment. And while so, the leader of such a national party being enabled to participate in the election campaign is an important step in the march of democracy itself, especially when it's such an important election of the Lok Sabha being voted for. So therefore, and which happens once in 5 years. So therefore, the court has found that to be a good enough reason to make out an exception for the grant of interim bail. Of course, with a lot of riders as to what he can do and cannot do when he is being granted, when he is out on interim bail.
I wanted to go back to Amit Tiwari for a moment. Amit, if I can just go across to Amit Tiwari. Amit, politically, how, there was one important observation which was made by the court when the court said that that Arvind Kejriwal doesn't pose a risk. They seem to suggest that he's not a repeat offender, and therefore that was also one of the grounds on which he was released. And also what you heard from Arima Sundaram over there, where he said that he is a chief minister, it is an important time, and it's not just his family that is looking out for this case, there are other people as well. So 2 points there, how would you respond?
No, see, whenever any bail application is considered, always these points are taken into consideration. Obviously, the pre-conviction arrest is always to secure the presence of the accused. So whenever bail is to be considered, these are always considered whether he is at flight risk or not. So far as that issue is concerned, nobody has ever alleged that he will run away or he will abscond from the country. That's not a point. So in all bail applications, whether interim, whether final regular bail applications, you will see the orders, you will find all those kind of conditions. But the point is, look at the manner and the conduct of the person, and it's his party. There is no doubt today, we respect the judgment of the court. The court believes that yes, the democracy, which is at much higher level, is to be placed or is of paramount consideration than the liberty of one individual or one particular case. We respect that judgment. But so far as the conduct of the party is concerned, look at the manner, look at the visuals, as if some freedom fighter has come. As if this is for the first time in the country, we have witnessed that the person is being celebrated because there are allegations of corruption. So and look at the conduct of the Congress. The Congress believes and Congress is equally celebrating the victory as if there is some kind of victory. And the Congress is the only party which was leveling allegations for this liquor scam against the Aam Aadmi Party. So this all exposes, I am speaking politically, that this all exposes these kind of conducts, expose the character of the person in the minds and the eyes of the people at large. And people at large will definitely decide and will cast their vote in favor of BJP.
Something else which the court said, which is actually important, because I'm going through parts of the judgment here. They said that, and these weren't the exact words, but a liberal view is needed in the Lok Sabha election backdrop, and that he's not a threat to society. Again, how would you respond to that?
Yes, definitely. I have also seen that is recorded in paragraph number 15, where the court said that no doubt he avoided 9 summons. No doubt there are serious allegations of corruption. But since we have not been able to decide the application of the challenging the very legality of the arrest, therefore, keeping in view the democracy, keeping in view that the elections are held for in every 5 years, therefore, we are taking this liberal view. Now, the liberal view of the court is being manipulated and is sought to be projected in the public domain as if Mr. Kejriwal is held or there is a judgment giving innocence to Mr. Kejriwal. That's not the case. That's the conduct that I'm trying to expose.
All right, Amit Tiwari, thanks very much for joining us, explaining that BJP standpoint on this important development. We're going to go across to NDTV's Vedant Agarwal, who joins us at the stage. Vedant, outside the residence of the Delhi Chief Minister, what politically is Arvind Kejriwal going to do next? I mean, do we expect India Alliance members to come together? Will there be joint rallies? Or is he going to be sticking to Punjab and Delhi?
Well, Vishnu, Arvind Kejriwal is about to arrive at his residence.
All right, sincere apologies once again, that line with Vedant not working out at all. But let me just get one final question from Arima Sundaram. So thanks very much for sort of being there with us still as we roll these images of Arvind Kejriwal. Mr. Sundaram, the circumstances of the order which was passed today, 1.5 years after the FIR was filed, he was arrested 1.5 years back, and that this is obviously something which has been hanging fire. Is that something that we can say raised suspicion in the minds of the judges?
Vishnu, I differ with you there, because it's not a question of justice delayed. Justice delayed is when a person is taking recourse to justice, recourse to the courts, and that recourse is being delayed. That's when we say justice delayed. Here it's a simple case of an investigation delayed, which is a relevant factor for the court to consider, that after all, this is a matter which has been hanging fire for 1.5 years. And as yet, the charges are not framed. It's more than 1.5 years. And it is at this juncture that he's suddenly being arrested 1.5 years later. Now, it is the delay is being called out on the investigation. It is not a case of justice delayed. It's a case of investigation.
Arvind Kejriwal speaking to the media. We aren't getting audio on that just yet. Hopefully we will later on. But he's left Tihar jail some time back after having been granted interim bail by the Supreme Court. Let's listen.
तानाशाही करने की कोशिश की, लोगों ने उसे कभी बर्दाश्त नहीं किया। आज देश तानाशाही के दौर से गुजर रहा है। मैं तन मन धन से उसके खिलाफ संघर्ष कर रहा हूं, पर 140 करोड़ लोगों को मिलकर इस तानाशाही को हराना होगा। मैं लोगों से अपील करता हूं कि हमें सबको मिलकर देश को बचाना है। कल सुबह 11 बजे हनुमान जी का आशीर्वाद लेने के लिए हम सब लोग हनुमान मंदिर जाएंगे कनॉट प्लेस में। मैं सभी लोगों से अपील करता हूं कि सब लोग आएं, सब लोग हनुमान जी का आशीर्वाद लेंगे। करेंगे सर कैंपेन। और 1 बजे पार्टी ऑफिस जाएंगे, पार्टी ऑफिस में प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस होगी। और कल शायद साउथ दिल्ली में रोड शो है, उस रोड शो में पार्टिसिपेट करूंगा भगवंत मान साहब के साथ।
All right, Kejriwal speaking to reporters over there. He says that his battle continues. It's up to all Indians to defeat this government. There will be a press conference announced tomorrow. So it's not taken Arvind Kejriwal any time at all to get back into prime political mode, campaigning mode. He's doing that already. All right, well, we'll keep tracking that story. But in other news, in an important order, the Supreme Court has asked Delhi, Haryana, Rajasthan and Gujarat to not give any new mining permissions in the Aravallis until further directions, striking a balance between protecting the environment and the livelihood of the people engaged in mining activities. The court stressed, however, that its order will not in any way be construed as a stay on mining already being carried out in the range with valid permits and with licenses.
These broken peaks of a lost mountain range are the lungs of North India. Rock by rock, the Aravallis have died at the hands of the mining mafia. But the Supreme Court has thrown the cover back on these huge tracts of unprotected forest land in the Aravallis. With its ban on new mining leases and renewals, in Haryana, Delhi, Gujarat and Rajasthan.
For mining, there are two essentials, the mining plan and the environment clearance. Both are being flouted. The other important issue besides mining for Aravalli is that the construction activity is rampant. That is taking a very heavy toll on Aravallis, illegal construction. There is a demand for construction material around NCR. There is a huge demand. So some amount of legal mining, controlled mining has to be allowed.
In these fragile but resource-rich hills, illegal mining and unchecked construction are rampant. Not only has groundwater depleted to concerning levels of 800 to 400 feet in many areas, the plunder of the Aravallis has almost ended a life-giving ecosystem that is home to many species. With nearly 10,000 hectares or 20% of forest land lost to mining, the forests are rapidly turning barren.
If the Aravallis go, we go. If the Aravallis go, we will become this complete dust bowl and completely desertified, which would impact water security, food security, everything.
Absolutely.
Plus, it's also a huge critical water recharge zone.
As the Aravalli foothills go missing, the natural barrier preventing the Thar desert from extending to the plains is being raced down every year, leaving the capital vulnerable to toxins traveling from the west. Despite bans, the mining mafia and real estate companies continue to swallow up one of the world's oldest mountains.
Supreme Court time and again has said that, illegal mining, which of course is a very contentious issue, because remember there's also this alleged nexus between authorities and the illegal mining mafia as well. So that is a hugely contentious issue, particularly in this particular belt, the Haryana belt, even in Rajasthan, Gujarat. So the Supreme Court coming down heavily, saying that it's a sorry state of affairs, a committee now being formed, but certainly a progressive move towards protecting the Aravalis. In Gurugram with camera person Azam Siddiqui, Vedant for NDTV.
Well, it's time now for us to take a short break. There's a lot more coming up right here on NDTV.
After 5 years, we are again getting an opportunity to exercise our right to vote. This is a right which has been earned after a very long and hard struggle by our great leaders. We must not waste this opportunity. I have pledged that I will vote. I have appealed to all my family members and friends to come out and vote for the development of our great nation.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand. Corporate.
Hello everyone. I urge each one of you to exercise your right to vote. Your voice matters and all our votes shape our collective future. Let us make democracy stronger by going out and exercising our franchise. Jai Hind.
The 18th Lok Sabha elections. As always, NDTV has its ear to the ground.
With the biggest pie of 80 seats, all eyes will be on Uttar Pradesh.
Will the Troika ensure the Modi umbrella unites all?
It is the first election in Naya Kashmir since the scrapping of Article 370.
Will the same number of lotuses bloom in the desert, or can Gehlot lend a helping hand to India?
With BJP having Max here with the only pillar standing of Chhindwara fall.
Can Didi once again withstand the saffron tide? Will BJP stay strong in its northeast bastion?
Jhadu ka jadoo or Modi magic? Can Congress gain lost ground in Punjab?
Will Revanth Reddy be able to increase the Congress strength in Telangana this time? And in Andhra Pradesh, will the Juggernaut be able to stop Chandrababu Naidu and Pawan Kalyan?
Can BJP win back its only stronghold in the south? Or will it be a Congress consolidation?
Can BJP make a dent in the Dravidian den?
The 2024 Lok Sabha polls are crucial for the future of this country. Having covered elections for 35 years, I hope to cut through the cacophony of a long, hot summer campaign and help to understand and decode the issues, the challenges, and finally, the outcome.
After 5 years, we are again getting an opportunity to exercise our right to vote. This is a right which has been earned after a very long and hard struggle by our great leaders. We must not waste this opportunity. I have pledged that I will vote. I have appealed to all my family members and friends to come out and vote for the development of our great nation.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
This show isn't just about news from the southern states. It's one that looks at the rest of India and the world from a diverse South India point of view, because NDTV has always taken the southern view seriously.
The Southern View with Veera Raghav, only on NDTV 24/7.
I do hope all of you are going to go out and cast your vote, and especially the youth of the country. And the youth and the corporate citizens, people who work in our urban centers and companies. You know, we are...
Hello and welcome. I'm Gargi Rawat. Today on the show, the Election Commission of India rejected and hit out at the charges of mismanagement and delay in release of voter turnout data by Congress Chief Mallikarjun Kharge. In a very strongly worded point-by-point rejoinder, the poll body said allegations are unwarranted, biased and a deliberate attempt to spread confusion. Mallikarjun Kharge earlier this week had written to the India bloc leaders wondering whether the Election Commission's refusal to publish actual voting data, the delay in releasing poll turnout data and the non-publication of final voters list for the next phases are an attempt to doctor the Lok Sabha election results. Kharge questioned the rationale behind the Election Commission's delay in releasing the voter turnout data for the first two phases of the 2024 Lok Sabha elections, which were made public 11 days after the first phase, 4 days after the second phase. Claiming that the credibility of the Election Commission is at an all-time low and these developments have cast a dark shadow on its functioning, he urged the leaders to collectively, unitedly and unequivocally raise their voices against such discrepancies. And this is what led to the reaction that we saw today with the Election Commission point by point rebutting. So what we're discussing today on the show, Election Commission rebuts Kharge on voter data. Will the opposition accept? Now, already the opposition has held a meeting, and following that, Mr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi reiterated their concerns and also questioned the Election Commission's letter.
जो वोटर परसेंटेज में वृद्धि हुई है, वो पहले दिन प्रकाशित आंकड़े और 11 दिन या 5 दिन या 7 दिन बाद प्रकाशित आंकड़ों में लगभग 5.5% है। अगर आप इसको तुलनात्मक रूप से देखें 2019 के चुनाव में, तो इन्हीं फेजेस में ये आंकड़े जो बदले थे वो लगभग 2, 2.5, 1, 1.25% थे, जो इस बार 5.5 या 5.7% हैं। यानी तुलनात्मक रूप से इतनी वृद्धि हमने 2019 के चुनाव में फेजेस के दौरान नहीं पाई। इन सब प्रश्न चिन्हों से अवॉइड करने के लिए आवश्यक है कि चुनाव आयोग जल्द से जल्द ये प्रकाशन करे।
All right, so that is the opposition's response to the Election Commission's letter. But to talk more about this, we're now joined by Dr. Syed Zafar Islam, National Spokesperson, BJP, Manisha Priyam, Political Analyst, Mahima Singh, Spokesperson, Congress Party, Dr. Muhammad Amin, former Joint Director and Chief of Protocol, Election Commission of India. And we are expecting a Trinamool Congress spokesperson also to join us. Manisha Priyam, first to you, your comments on this entire controversy, the fact that, the Congress President raised these concerns and then the kind of response that has come from the Election Commission, the Congress saying that, questioning the Election Commission's response, saying that it's their duty to ensure a level playing field and, perfectly legitimate issues had been raised.
So it's the job of the Election Commission. It's not about the Congress party or any other party. It's the job of the Election Commission to give us revised percentages which generally go up. This time around the percentage has gone up by a larger quantum than in the earlier years, and also the numerator and the denominator, what is the total size of the electorate and what is the number that has voted. That's an absolute number, And there is no reason or rationale given the fact that the EVM has been upheld by the Supreme Court. The arguments of the Election Commission that were upheld by the Supreme Court in favor of the EVM were that you can do the counting in real time, in a day results can be published. Now that means that every vote, every person who's voted can be counted in a matter of nanoseconds, and it can all be computed in a few hours. Now what can be computed in a few hours cannot take days and days to get computed. So I think the Election Commission is not just duty bound to give us these numbers, but also to explain to us as to what's been happening, where has been the hitch. Because, you know, the only argument they had in front of the Supreme Court against paper ballots or having paper trails for each of the votes was that it would take too much time to count up very sticky and very thin slips. So now the same thing has happened. Why is it taking you so many days to tell us what the real numbers are and what the real percentages are?
All right, we're also joined by Riju Datta, spokesperson of the Trinamool Congress. And just, Manisha Prem, one last comment. The fact that the Election Commission said you're planting seeds of doubt and this will create an anarchic situation. Your comments on that response?
So it's for the Election Commission to not let, can they tell us why it's taken them so many days when the argument is that the EVM is faster than anything else? Now, if we ask the numbers of how many voted, this is not sowing any doubt. It would have been doubtful if somebody had said that, oh, the EVM is not counting my vote. That would have been a seed of doubt. But I or any other voter, and I'm talking from the citizen's point of view, we have voted. We are not casting a doubt on you.
Sure.
We are simply telling you, tell us the numbers who have voted. Now, it's for them to tell us. I can't tell the Election Commission. It's for the Election Commission to tell the citizens of India as to how many have voted, what's the exact number, what's the exact percentage. Any allegations I don't want to level. That political parties may do, and it's for the Election Commission to tell them what they want to. But the citizen can ask for this.
All right, Saeed Zafar
vote.
Islam, your response, your comments on this entire issue, the fact that the Congress, raised these particular points, questioning the Election Commission, why the delay, the revision, asking why no voter lists, being released before the next phase, and the kind of response the Election Commission has put out there, very hard-hitting, talking about creating anarchic situation, talking about, planting seeds of doubt and creating a lot of confusion.
See, it's a pattern which has been observed by everyone that Congress intentionally and purposely creates this kind of doubt among the voters. And this is what they are doing. Whenever they clearly see that they are going to lose the election, they start talking about EVM, they start talking about something or the other, just to create confusion in the minds of the voters. And this is what they have attempted this time as well. Every single allegation made by Congress party, which is losing its ground, clearly is actually have been responded by ECI, and as ECI's response was very stern, that it is a pattern seen by many people, including ECI, that Congress is trying to and attempting to create confusion and create a situation where the way ECI is conducting without any bias this election
as Manisha Prem said, we want to know why it's taking this much time, why this revision in numbers. Of course, it's happened before as well, which is those details, that data has been released also by the Election Commission. But why is it taking so much time for these revised numbers to come in?
No,
it's a legitimate question.
They clearly said that the ECI has responded that it was always available on a voter turnout on ECI website. So where is the question of not available? Every data was available, and on a hourly basis they were updating it. So it's just a consolidated data which has been released by the ECI as a matter of practice, but people were aware that till 5 o'clock how much, till 6 o'clock how much vote has been casted. So ECI has responded every single question which has been raised by India Alliance has been adequately responded by ECI. There is absolutely no doubt. As Manisha Prem was also saying that she doesn't doubt, she is only responding to what India Alliance has unnecessarily created confusion in the people's mind. But there is absolutely no confusion.
Congress party. Mahima,
ECI has done it.
Your response, to what has been said, and also Mr. Kharge in his letter, while he did raise all these questions, he also went on to say that this could be an attempt to doctor the final results.
Jai Hind. First of all, Gargi, so that the Election Commission and its model code of conduct is taken seriously by the citizens of this country and by the world, looking up towards this election, this historical election, it is for the ECI also to look at its own conduct and be upright in its conduct. In the response that the ECI has given us today, see, there is a hint of the fact that they are sanctimonious. Is the Election Commission of India sanctimonious? Can the citizens of this country not criticize the functioning of the Election Commission of India if it appears to be lethargic? Is there rectitude in its conduct? Or is there even a vision of rectitude in ECI's conduct today? That is the question, Gargi, because these questions are being raised because you see, we have seen hate speeches conducted by the Prime Minister himself, by the Home Minister, by the representatives of the government, fake news being spread by the Prime Minister. We have seen the ECI's lethargic stance in reacting to those. Rather, in an unprecedented move, we have seen that instead of issuing a notice to the individual, when we complained about the Prime Minister's and Home Minister's conduct, the notice was issued to the parties, and one was issued to our party also in addition to that. Now, what does the model code of conduct say, Gargi? Whether it is about the results which are being delayed of the voter percentage data, whether it is the gap or whether it is the lag, the model code of conduct says that no party or candidate shall include in any activity which may aggravate existing differences or create mutual divide. Now, see, when we talk about hate speeches, when we talk about the ECI's inaction towards those stances of the ruling party, that is of course very clear. But when we talk about this data, as one of the very esteemed panelists has already indicated towards it earlier, what happens to the reality of digital India? Prime Minister and this double-engine government has been claiming that, we are living in the digital era today. They have upscaled the digital infrastructure of the country. And there at the same time, there's an unprecedented delay in releasing that data. Not only an unprecedented delay, but a spurious gap between the voter turnout data on the actual date and what comes out later. In 2019, we saw, and the previous years also, that the lag was never so much. Why is there that delay? Why is there that gap? That is what is being asked by not only India bloc parties, but by the citizens of this country today. And the government and the Election Commission has much to answer. Rather, it is evading its responsibility by acting as if it is a sanctimonious body and not a constitutional body. Why?
All right, Riju Datta, your comments here. The Trinamool Congress also, part of that meeting, and we saw Mr. Singhvi was accompanied by Trinamool Congress leaders, as they questioned the Election Commission's reply to Mr. Kharge's letter.
See, the India bloc today went to the Election Commission with very specific things that we want. Point number one, we want number of registered electors per constituency. How many people are registered voters per constituency for the clarity of your viewers? Second, please publish the total number of votes that have been polled rather than just a frivolous percentage. And third, a detailed report of polling of each phase. How difficult is that? And why will Election Commission not provide that? Because we have seen in 19th of April, when the first phase elections happened, there was a polling of around 60%, which was shown in real time by media channels like yours. And on 26th of April, on the second phase, there was also an average polling of 60-61% that was shown real time on all media channels. But the Election Commission published the voter percentage on 30th of April with a jump of 6.14%. What is this nonsense? These data of how many people have voted, what is the voters' percentage, can easily be acquired from the Form 17C. which is given to the candidates, there is no information of total number of votes polled. That is why we think that why is Election Commission delaying? Like my Congress counterpart have said, that there are multiple things that the BJP has done, none other than the Prime Minister of the country has done to violate the Model Code of Conduct. No action, diddly squat, no action has been taken against him or the BJP party. So in that aspect, it is the Election Commission that themselves are casting aspersions and doubts on themselves. Why can't you provide total numbers of votes polled? Why can't you give a detailed report of what is happening in every constituency, every polling booth? It happened in 2014, it happened in 2019. Are you scared of that the BJP is losing? That's why you're delaying this. And why this jump? Why this jump of 6-7% after every polls?
All right, Dr. Mohammed, I'd like you to
answer.
come in here and, respond to some of these points that have been raised. There is this situation in the country where the opposition seems to have a lot of, a trust issue as far as the Election Commission is concerned. And yes, if Mr. Kharge did raise questions, they legitimate questions which should have been answered without this, very hard-hitting response that the Election Commission gave, and as if, that he had no right even to question them.
Thank you, Gargi. You have invited me this time for the debate. So, since the morning, you have listened about what he has written and given the reply of from the Election Commission of India to Kharge. That is, he has already rejected all allegations, which was blamed by the opposition parties, including Congress, for the publishing of data and publishing of data for the poll, for first and second poll. So this is the ongoing process. This time the election is in the country and Lok Sabha poll is going on. So all the protocol is there. But I don't know why they have the impact on the our voters, the negative publicity to voters and our pressurizing to our polling officers, presiding officers and election machinery also. This is not a good habit for that. All time they are blaming to the Election Commission of India. If they are losing or they are winning, I don't know. But they never appreciate any party. All parties are sitting with you. Nobody appreciated till date about the functioning of the Election Commission of India. I am not happy with them. If the Election Commission is doing good things, they can appreciate. If they are not doing, they can always have the allegation against the Election Commission. I don't know why this type of habit of the all political parties. But after all, they are accepting the Election Commission results as assembly. They may be in the Odisha, they may be in Tamil Nadu, they may be in Kerala, even in West Bengal. The Mool Congress was telling this. Before that, when the West Bengal election was there, they were blaming to Election Commission of India that they have the 7th phase of the election. Technically, there was a problem for the election. That's why the 7th time happened that time.
Right, sir,
and
but
see,
a constant
Mamata was
complaint.
also blaming the Prime Minister
Right,
and
sir, but a
blaming to
constant
Election
complaint
Commission
of the
that they are
opposition
working
has
under
been
pressure.
that when the BJP complains, the Election Commission, and this is what the opposition says, that when the BJP complains, the Election Commission is quick to act. When the opposition complains, there's this sense that that they drag their feet, that perhaps they do not act as swiftly. This is what the opposition has claimed, and of course in this country we've had strong election commissioners. We've had TN Session, we've had Mr. Lingdo, who seem very impervious to any sort of political pressures.
Gargi, I'm telling you, to your voters and countrymen and your debaters also, and all political party leaders can listen it. All are they know very well about the process of the election day. In election day, they can see EVMs randomly checked. Their agents are there, all party agents, not a single. All party agents are there with the presiding officer. They are sitting, and in the voter list, they compare, and there is 17A register is there. That is form 17A. All voters are going to sign it in front of their serial numbers. And after that, you can see the EVM and 17C form in the evening, 17C form evening. There is all data is there. Means how many voters were there, how many they have polled for that. They are not absent also. Everything was detailed in that.
All
And
right,
then,
but there have been
after that,
complaints of,
it's a
names
shield.
not being there on
They
the
were
voter
shielded
list
properly
and
in front of
even
them.
this time, in this
They
last
were-
phase,
Gargi,
allegations of prevention of if in certain
Gargi.
areas of people voting. But Manisha Priyam, your comments as well, this sort of doubts that are being cast, or, the opposition seems to, they're saying we're demanding transparency, but there is this trust deficit when it comes to the Election Commission.
No, I think these are very big words. There's no trust deficit. The people of India repose their trust. We pay the taxpayers' money goes into
as far
setting
as the
up
opposition is concerned, I'm not talking about the general people. I'm saying opposition parties.
Clearly, in all
Not
polling
the
stations,
people of the country as such, but the
everything done by
opposition
videography.
parties seem to have this issue.
Videography in front of the polling agents.
All right, Manisha Priyam, yes. So I'll come back.
The only one question that I need to ask the Honorable Representative of the Election Commission here, I have no doubts that we've all signed the forms, it's all tallyable, but can he explain to me why this inordinate delay in giving us the numbers, the absolute numbers? Percentages are calculated on the basis of absolute numbers. Very simple question. There's no doubt about it. Can we understand what the Election Commission calculated the percentage out of?
Dr. Mohammed Amin?
It's a fact that they took longer than what had been taken in the past, right? That's it.
Everything.
Why did you take longer than in the past? What are the absolute numbers? Why did you take?
I'm telling you.
Everything is there, fine. But why did you take time?
Everything is done in front of your polling agents, and after compilation, everything goes to the CEOs.
No, that is not the answer. That's not the answer. No. The question is, why was so much time taken?
So this time I can accept it. There is a delay, but that was technical delay, and this must be clear by the Election Commission of India directly. Yeah, I agree with that.
Right.
That's exactly the point, sir.
I agree with that.
That's exactly the point.
Is the former Joint Director and Chief of Protocol
Election
of the
Commission
Election
does an
Commission. I
honest
just want
job.
to clarify that. But yes, Saeed Zafar Islam, your comments are here.
See,
actually,
you have a representative from
I don't know why they are
ECI.
not coming.
File on TV. I'll just call you back.
You have a representative. Can I just speak, please? You have a representative, Gargi, from the ECI,
being raised
and
by
he
the
is spot on. No, I'm saying he is spot on, that it is intentional, purposefully. They are trying to malign the image of ECI. They accept all the results of ECI. ECI is conducting free and fair poll. They do not appreciate the efforts which has been put in by ECI. ECI is providing every data whenever they require. But if there was a delay for a few days because of some technical hitches, then they should not question the credibility of ECI. That is something which actually creates confusion in the minds of voters. That they are doing damage to the democratic process, what is being followed and being implemented by an institution like ECI.
Mahima Singh, your response?
Yeah. Gargi, the question today is the functioning of the ECI really free and fair, as is evident from the incidents like the Hod digital booth capturing by none other than the son of a BJP leader, Mr. Vijay Bhabhor. In Dahod, 2 booths were captured, and only because the videos went viral was the action taken.
That was a video of the child using the EVM. Yes.
Muslims are, no, just a minute. Are the elections really free and fair when in Sambal Muslim voters are beaten up and not even allowed to cast votes? Are they really free and fair when in Karnataka, tweets that are offensive of democracy of a certain community are asked to be taken down after the polls have taken place there? Is it really free and fair when the number of voters which used to come out till the last election is not being released today, even after the inordinate delay? I mean, after the inordinate delay also what we are getting it is unscrupulous, this voter percentage with unscrupulous gap, but not the number of voters that really came out, which is very much within the ambit of working of the ECI. So all these questions are pointing towards also the Prime Minister asking for votes in the name of Ram Rajya. Prime Minister using terms like
all
vote
right,
jihad.
I'm running out of time. I want Dr. Mohammed Amin to respond since he's raising his hand there. Yes, sir.
I don't know why they are having irresponsible statement against the ECI. ECI has given the order so many places for the rigging or other polling stations. They are repolled for that. They have given the orders. They have seen might be.
The Election
This was
Commission
in non-public domain.
We want to ask
Yeah.
you that. We
No,
want
no,
to
I
ask
don't know why
Election
you have the
Commission sanctimonious
irresponsible
beyond
statement against the
criticism by the
ECI.
citizens of this country.
ECIs are always doing the free and fair poll in the country. Appreciated by not you, appreciated by the other countries also.
All right, well, we'll have to leave it there. This is an issue we'll continue, to discuss, I'm sure, on the channel. But thank you all for joining us today to talk about this current issue with the Election Commission responding to Mr. Kharge's letter where he questioned the delay and the Election Commission rejecting it and hitting out at the charges that were made. We'll slip into a short break now. News updates continue on NDTV. Do keep watching.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand.
The biggest carnival of democracy, India's general election.
Prime Minister Modi makes a formidable bid for a hat-trick.
The opposition is trying to mount a united challenge.
And the southern parties are standing their ground.
As battle lines are drawn,
Join us on an exciting journey on the road to 2024.
Indian elections, a festival like no other. And NDTV covers elections like no other.
When India votes, you can count on us.
Big news makers only on NDTV. Telangana Chief Minister on the BJP attack.
100 दिन में वो कितना आरोप लगा रहे मुझे समझ में नहीं आया.
Karnataka Deputy Chief Minister on obscene videos.
I am nowhere connected to it, and it is all their own blunder what they have made themselves.
Rajiv Chandrasekhar on the population report.
And changes to our demography and makeup of our population in the last few years, few decades.
Top news, top newsmakers on NDTV.
दुनिया के सबसे बड़े लोकतंत्र का वो चुनाव जो देश और दुनिया को बदलने की ताकत रखता है। सरकार बनाएंगे करीब 100 करोड़ लोग, जिससे तय होंगे पीएम, पॉलिसी और फ्यूचर। इस सबसे बड़े चुनाव की बड़ी बातों को डिकोड करने के लिए मेरे साथ होंगे देश के जाने माने एक्सपर्ट्स। देश के चुनिंदा शहरों से एनडीटीवी की सबसे बड़ी पेशकश बैटल ग्राउंड देखिए मेरे साथ सिर्फ एनडीटीवी पर, क्योंकि चुनाव मतलब एनडीटीवी।
After 5 years, we are again getting an opportunity to exercise our right to vote. This is a right which has been earned after a very long and hard struggle by our great leaders. We must not waste this opportunity. I have pledged that I will vote. I have appealed to all my family members and friends to come out and vote for the development of our great nation.
In the heat and dust of politics, perspective should not get lost. Watch me decipher hard politics through an academic lens, only on NDTV.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
आईपीएल का हल्ला बल्ला और सबसे शानदार कवरेज सिर्फ एनडीटीवी पर।
The 18th Lok Sabha elections. As always, NDTV has its ear to the ground. With the biggest pie of 80 seats, all eyes will be on Uttar Pradesh.
Will the Troika ensure the Modi umbrella unites all?
It is the first election in Naya Kashmir since the scrapping of Article 370.
Will the same number of lotuses bloom in the desert, or can Gehlot lend a helping hand to India?
With BJP having Max here with the only pillar standing of Chhindwara fall.
Can Didi once again withstand the saffron tide?
Will BJP stay strong in its northeast bastion?
Jhadu ka jadoo or Modi magic? Can Congress gain lost ground in Punjab?
Will Revant Reddy be able to
This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV 24/7.
Hello, Moto.
And I'm Maria Shakil. Elections 2024 have taken an interesting turn just before the fourth phase. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has walked out of Tihar jail after 50 days. The Aam Aadmi Party, Aam Aadmi Party's leader, his release means he can now campaign for the Aam Aadmi Party and also the India bloc in the ongoing elections, in which Delhi's 7 seats will vote on May 25th and also on 13 seats in Punjab that go to polls in the last phase. Mr. Kejriwal will be on bail till June 1st, the final phase of voting for the 7-stage elections. He is to surrender by June 2nd. In his first public comment, after leaving jail, Mr. Kejriwal thanked all the judges of the top court and called on voters to save the country from dictatorship. The court had been hearing arguments by Mr. Kejriwal challenging his arrest when it set the cat among the pigeons by noting it would also hear arguments for bail for the AAP leader. The court turned down pleas to extend his bail but said it would hear arguments for extended relief only next week. Underlining Mr. Kejriwal's position as an elected chief minister, a bench of Justice Sanjeev Khanna and Justice Dipankar Datta said there are elections and these are extraordinary circumstances and he, that is Mr. Kejriwal, is not a habitual offender. This is a question of public interest, unquote. Aam Aadmi Party has called this move a game changer in favor of the India bloc. BJP has tried to pour cold water over the opposition's joy in the release of Mr. Kejriwal, noting that he would be out. He's out essentially for only a short period and will have to return to jail. Remember, on Thursday, the ED, that is the Enforcement Directorate, which had opposed the bail, had said no politician could claim special status higher than that of an ordinary citizen and is liable to be arrested and detained for offences as any other citizen. It had also argued that there is no fundamental right that allow Mr. Kejriwal bail to campaign. The agency also pointed out that no political leader had ever been granted bail for campaigning and said that releasing Mr. Kejriwal from jail to canvass for his party candidates would set a wrong precedent. We will discuss the legalese with senior advocate Mahesh Jethmalani on the show. And to decode the politics of it, we will also be joined by Delhi Minister Saurabh Bhardwaj. And also, the big question, that we ask on the show, will this be a shot in the arm for the Aam Aadmi Party and the India bloc? Or will the corruption taint hurt the party in the polls? Let me bring in my guests now. Neerja Chaudhary is joining us live. Shazia Ilmi, spokesperson of the BJP. Abhishek Dutt is the spokesperson of the Congress. We have Vivek Jain, a lawyer of Mr. Kejriwal. Hitesh Jain, lawyer, also joining us. And we also have Dr. Shantanu Sen, a member of parliament and spokesperson of the TMC. And we also have Aam Aadmi Party representative on the show as well. Anmol Power, that's his name. I'm going to begin with you, Neerja. Would you also say that elections have somehow got very interesting all of a sudden?
I was saying this, when we started off, it seemed to be a done deal, and everybody, including the media, thought how boring it would be to cover it. But with every passing day, the narrative is changing, the conflict is sharpening, more strident voices, and now with Mr. Kejriwal's release from jail, with 2 weeks of campaigning left for the Delhi election, I suspect he's going to campaign also in Haryana and Punjab, maybe even in Maharashtra. So let's see, it's going to be very interesting. The moment he came out, he didn't lose seconds. I mean, he thanked Lord Hanuman, he thanked the Supreme Court judges, and he talked about ending the dictatorship in the country. So he knew what he was doing and getting to his constituency that he will address now in the coming days.
Okay. Dr. Shantanu Sen, what does this temporary relief mean to India bloc, the overall bloc, not just the Aam Aadmi Party? That will be perhaps a question that I'll ask to Mr. Anmol Pawar.
See, Maria, in the early days of this year, the immediate past Chief Minister of Jharkhand, Hemant Soren, was arrested by the Central Investigating Agency. And after the announcement of election schedule by Election Commission of India on 11th of March, on 16th of March, on 21st of March, Arvind Kejriwal was arrested for liquor scam. Unfortunately, the kingpin of the liquor scam is Sharat Chandra Reddy, who happens to be the director of Arvind Pharma Limited. And that particular company has donated 60 crores of rupees to BJP. And this company has given another 5 crore to BJP in the form of electoral bond. So out of this liquor scam, if there is anyone who is benefited maximum, that is Bharatiya Janata Party. But unfortunately, because of sheer political...
Dr. Sen, while we get into the details of this case, and that's already there in the public domain, I want to understand from, the Congress, Abhishek Dutt now, that here is, the elections began on a note in which 2 of the chief ministers who were seen to be part of India bloc were arrested. Now, one of the chief ministers is out on an interim bail, and his exit has created history because this is first time in India that a politician has been granted bail for campaigning. Then what does it mean for you all as a bloc?
See, first of all, I'd like to thank the Honorable Supreme Court for intervening in this matter. We've always questioned the timing of Mr. Arvind Kejriwalji's arrest. We must realize that the EC FIR against Arvind Kejriwalji was filed in 2022. After almost 15 months, just before the election, Mr. Kejriwal was arrested. And if you look at the background of the last 2 months, whether it was Mr. Rahul Gandhiji's membership in the Lok Sabha, whether it was the Chandigarh mayor election, whether it was the case of Mr. Sanjay Singh's bail, whether it was to do with the electoral bonds, everywhere Bharatiya Janata Party stands exposed today. The way Bharatiya Janata Party has been misusing the machinery through CBI, through ED, through income tax, it's only when the Supreme Court has intervened. Everything has come forward. And like I said before also,
so I hope now onwards, the opposition will have faith in judiciary, because just as every institution You had questioned the role of the judiciary as well. Hitesh Jain, coming to you now. You made an important point, Hitesh, in your tweet that I read on X, but talking about it largely. In the domain of politics, I will take that question to Shazia. But yes, good precedent, bad precedent, that is left for another day. But this is first of its kind.
Well, it is unprecedented. But at the same time, what the Supreme Court has done, and I've stated in my tweet also, it has blackened the face of Arvind Kejriwal. Here, the Supreme Court has said he cannot go to the office of the Delhi Chief Minister. He cannot go to the office of the Delhi Secretariat. He cannot speak to the officials and the witnesses. Such kind of conditions and the release that has been made is ordinarily reserved for people who are convicted of serious offences. So what the Supreme Court has done is blackened the face of Kejriwal, and now he has been told that go and face the public. But as usual, Kejriwal is shameless. He will brazen it out. The fact is today he stands accused of a serious offence of money laundering for which he has not responded. The only thing what he's trying to do is just shamelessly brazening out
but
the
Hitesh,
fact that a
I'm
chief
looking
minister
at the
cannot
bail
attend his
order.
office, and
It
the
also
fact
says,
that he cannot attend the secretariat is
yes,
also an unprecedented condition.
Yes, but Hitesh, the bail order also says no doubt serious accusations have been made, but he has not been convicted. He does not have any criminal antecedents, and he is not a threat to the society.
Well, Maria, I will answer this question straight away. Suppose if a person is convicted, suppose a person is arrested for murder, will he have a previous criminal antecedent or what? I mean, unless when a person is committing a murder offense or murder for the first time, that is the first time he will be committing any offense. So I don't read anything much in that. I mean, that is the ground where the Supreme Court had to come with some justification for passing such kind of unprecedented order. Today they have passed a very selective order. And I think after this order, Kejriwal should change his party's name from Aam Aadmi Party to Khas Aadmi Party.
Okay, so that's a huge statement to be made, that there is some kind of harsh treatment that has been given. But Shazia, as a member of the BJP right now, but someone who has been a journalist yourself, would you not agree with Neerja that the elections have spiced up?
Well, they've spiced up a lot. I would agree with you, but I want to make a few things. I want to state a few things here. So it's very, interesting for me to have Abhishek and his party defend Kejriwal, because these are the guys, these are the folks who actually flagged the excise policy. And it was Abhishek, who was sitting there in the panel calling this a victory of democracy at this point of time, who actually got the first pictures of the Sheesh Mahal and the brazen use of state funds for embellishment of Arvind Kejriwal's house. But let that be. Now, what I find very amusing is that the India Alliance is distributing laddus. It's a great moment for them. But can you imagine, there are 13 seats in Punjab. There are only 7 here. And here in Delhi, as you know, the sagacity of the Delhi voter, they know who they're voting for in Lok Sabha elections and who they're voting for in assembly elections. And now, if Arvind Kejriwal is out there, he actually blunts the chances, if at all he's effective. Let's presume there's a presumption to all of this. In Punjab, what happens there? The principal challengers to each other, AAP and Congress party. So I don't know what this celebration is about. Kejriwal looked very hale and hearty, extremely well-fed and well-rested. So what happens to all those crazy, sensational claims of insulin not being given and all of that? That's another story. Now, another thing which I find very interesting here is that this is an interim order. This has nothing to do with the main plea of Kejriwal, which was calling the entire arrest illegal or unconstitutional. So there are a whole lot of factors here that are in play.
Anmol, the point that is being made here is that this is a temporary relief which has been given with a lot of conditions, including that the Chief Minister cannot visit the Secretariat and cannot visit the Chief Minister's office.
So when the BJP... Maria, can I just come in 10 seconds?
Okay, go ahead,
10 seconds. Just 10 seconds, Maria, because you cut me midway. You know, it's so ironical for Kejriwal, and I used to tie a Rakhi once upon a time, so I feel sad that the only place where he can get to be CM and do CM Giri is in Tihar jail. He can't play CM anywhere else. So that's rather unfortunate.
Anmol, for all the talks Here are 7 seats in Delhi and 13 seats in Punjab that you will be campaigning. In Punjab, I would agree with Shazia that there is that, dichotomy or chaos, because it's not an India bloc which is fighting. You're fighting against each other, the Congress versus AAP battle which is playing out. But the larger question is that here is the Congress in Punjab saying that Mr. Kejriwal went to jail for corruption. And here is the Congress party in Delhi trying to convince the voters, saying that Mr. Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party are together and hence they should be given a chance. How does this narrative really help you?
Maria, first of all, I would like to thank the Honorable Supreme Court of India, who has ignited a ray of hope in the hearts of people who love this country, who believes in the Constitution and democracy. Secondly, let me refresh the memory of your viewers. One of your panelists, I think Hitesh ji, was saying was that he's an accused. From last 2 years, the investigation started in 2021. Not a single penny has been recovered. There's no finding of guilt. On the basis of mere accusations, he has been arrested. There is no trace of proceeds of money that has reached either to Mr. Kejriwal or to Mr. Sisodia. And the most important point is the data which was published by the Honorable Supreme Court. It clearly indicates there's documentary evidence that 60 crore rupees were paid by the alleged kingpin of the liquor scam, P. Sharad Reddy.
Here
and
is
it was
the Chief Minister, your party boss, who has been granted bail for campaigning. I have the court order. Just look at the words that it has been used. It is about general elections. It happens once in 5 years. These are the reasons. The court has not said that he has not been given a clean chit. Then why all this argument that you're trying to make? There's no clean chit for Mr. Kejriwal right now.
Please read para 15 as well. Para 15, 4th line. It says that appellant is the chief minister and leader of one of the national parties. No doubt serious accusations have been made, but he has not been convicted.
Yes.
Even the court has made it clear.
So that's a subject of investigation.
But see the chronology of events. See the chronology of events.
Yes, because he has not been convicted, but the allegations are also serious in nature. So let's not get into this. I want to understand the political aspect of it. Don't get into the legalese. Let's talk about politics.
At least let me take you through the series of events.
No, talk about the politics, please.
Similar allegations
talk
were
about
made
the
against
politics.
Sanjay Singh as well.
Talk about the politics, please. Yes.
See, the people of this country know that he has been falsely implicated. And this time, truth will triumph over conspiracies.
So,
justice will triumph over injustice.
What will you actually tell the people of...
Democracy will triumph over their autocracy.
No. You can say all that. That's very good rhetoric. But my question is not being
that
answered
is fact.
Here. Abhishek, let me come to you. Abhishek, my question then to you is, how will this really play out between you and the Aam Aadmi Party? In Delhi, you will say that Mr. Kejriwal is not corrupt. But in Punjab, you will say that he is corrupt.
See, Maria, Arvind Kejriwal,
nothing has
Aam
been
Aadmi
proven,
Party
Maria.
And Congress. Can I please come in? See, Arvind Kejriwal's party in Congress is fighting together under India Alliance. I'm telling you on your show today, together we will win 30 seats in Haryana, Delhi and Punjab.
All that is fine. What will happen in Punjab?
We will together win 13 seats. It will be a clean sweep for the India Alliance there.
But Abhishek,
both of us, let me complete.
Help us understand. Why are you not creating chaos in the minds of people of two states for your political convenience?
I will tell you something. Bharatiya Janata Party, as of now, have declared 417 candidates, out of which 116 candidates are from parties other than Bharatiya Janata Party, which is 28%. Out of which 25 candidates are the ones who Narendra Modi ji himself used to call them the most corrupt politicians in the country, including people like Ajit Pawar, Ashok Chavan, Hemanta. It's a big list. What happens to those people? Today, the moment they jump into Bharatiya Janata Party washing machine, they get rid of all their chances. And the biggest victory on the 4th June will be for the Constitution. I'm telling you today on your show, this whole thing of ab ki baar 400 baar, ab ki baar 400 baar will be the biggest jumla for Bharatiya Janata Party. Today, Bharatiya Janata Party is not even crossing 230 seats.
Yes, please go ahead.
Because the entire country is seeing the way Bharatiya Janata Party has been misusing ED, CBI, income tax to fulfill their political greed.
Please, 10 seconds, Maria. I just want 10 seconds.
Yes,
I
go
don't
ahead.
want to give such long speeches. I know the television
Yes, please, go ahead, Shazia. Go ahead.
rules. I don't speak for long. You know, tell me something. The first thing Arvind Kejriwal said when he came out, and he says, "Hum log lad rahe hain तानाशाही से." Tell me, in any तानाशाही or dictatorship, was it possible to get bail like this? I mean, you may.
Is it the BJP who has granted bail?
Court is not running the. We have faith in the court.
I mean, Neerja ma'am,
Under
I would like to
ED,
ask you.
in
You
CBI,
have called Supreme Court also as Supreme Court of Pakistan.
Okay, one minute.
Maria, this is the same lobby. When they do not get the orders in their favor, the Aam Aadmi Party has used the choices of adjectives for the Supreme Court.
You are sounding idiotic when you are saying that
You're
when you are
sounding
questioning the
idiotic.
wisdom of the
Okay,
Supreme
okay.
Court.
No.
Is it
It is not the
possible
Bharatiya
to
Janata
get
Party who has the
bail?
power
My
to grant
question
bail.
now is to
Possible to get
Neerja
bail?
It is the Supreme
and
Court.
to Hitesh.
And they can see
You know
through
what
your
happens in
nefarious
dictatorship?
designs.
Do you have
No.
any idea?
The problem with that
They
argument
have
is
questioned the timing of arrest.
ये election
The Supreme Court has questioned the timing of
Okay, let's
arrest.
have Neerja on the screen now, please.
Could you
Neerja
get
and
a bail
Hitesh.
in
Only
a
Neerja and
dictatorship?
Hitesh on the screen. Yes. Neerja, even till now, the opposition has been raising questions on the manner of elections. They have been saying that the elections do not have level playing field. The allegations are that this is not a free and fair election and what not, including EVM and multiple questions have been raised on the manner of elections. Now here is Mr. Kejriwal who has got bail, interim bail from Supreme Court, which is unprecedented. Does that argument hold then of level playing field or absence of it?
Look, you raise a very important question because the criticism about him being put in jail was in the middle of elections when no charges had been framed. It's not as if he was convicted. It's not as if charges had been framed against him. Sitting CM in the middle of election when the process had got underway. And I find, the point I want to make is this. I find that in Delhi, there has been growing sympathy for Kejriwal, even from people who have never voted for the Aam Aadmi Party and have been very critical. The poorer sections, of course, there's sympathy. But even in the middle class, I found in the last weeks, there's growing sympathy for that very reason. Now, the question in my mind is this. Now that he's been released by the court, will that sympathy go down? That little bit? I don't know. I think there's too short a period left now. Only 2 weeks of campaigning is too short a period for that to happen, is my suspicion. And he will, as we know of him, he will go to town to, take advantage of every moment in the way he thinks so, politically.
So will that sympathy really go? But what does it do to the entire argument by various political parties and politicians that there is no level playing field? Vivek Jain, Mr. Kejriwal's lawyer is joining us before I bring Hitesh. Vivek, the argument was that the timing of the arrest was just before the general elections. There is absence of level playing field is what you had argued. That's what the opposition argues in general. But now, do you think that has been corrected, if anything, with this bail?
Well, if your question is whether it's corrected or not, well, answer would be in the first place, he shouldn't have been arrested on 21st of March. Having election on 16th of March, model code of conduct being there, he shouldn't have been 21st of March. Fully corrected, obviously it's not, but you have to appreciate that Supreme Court has addressed that argument, has appreciated the argument that there has to be a level playing field. Now, when a level playing field, it means that the opposition should get some kind of a space for public and raise issues of public welfare or public issues which are already there. Don't allow the national leader of a national party to go and campaign in a junction which happens once in 5 years. Now, this is something which you're tinkering with the basic structure, because free and fair election is the basic structure.
Yes.
Now, as far as the timing of arrest is, I think the whole town, the whole world knows that the investigation is going on since August of 22. Now, since August of 2022, you've been making allegations, and every newspaper, everything is pasted with the allegations. Now, having made all those allegations since last 1.5 years or 20 months, you have chosen to arrest him in the middle of general election. Now, what is that? This means that you want to skew the election in the favor, in your own favor.
One point that is being made here, Vivek, is you have talked about the timing of the arrest, but since the arrest was under PMLA, and given how stringent that law is and the provisions of that law is, this kind of an interim bail being given to someone who was arrested under PMLA, the argument being made by those in the legal fraternity also is that this sets a bad precedent.
No, absolutely not. Our system is still a system where liberty is cherished. It is as tenacious as it could be. That's what Justice Sanjeev Khanna said in the Manish Sisodia's order. We cherish liberty still. We are still in the nation which cherishes liberty. Now, why we raise that issue is because of the fact that, see, this whole issue is political. Now, when you have political issues and when you have the same material, see, one of the issues which are, and the matter is sub judice, I don't want to comment so much because I'm appearing in the matter. But one of the issues which were raised, and obviously it's there in the media everywhere, is that you have that material with you since last 8-9 months. Why didn't you arrest then? That's the question which we asked the court, and court is considering. I'm not saying that they are going to eventually hold in our favor, but that is something which is sub judice, and it would have weighed somewhere with the court to see if this material was there, and where was the necessity to arrest. Because one of the most important principle under Section 19, which you just said, under PMLA, is the necessity to arrest somebody. That has to also be satisfied, apart from various other grounds you have on merits.
Okay. Hitesh, please come in on this.
Yeah, Maria, see two things. Supreme Court has noted with great concern that it is a serious matter that he has evaded the summons for 9 times. For all along, on the flimsiest of ground, he has evaded the summons. There were no responses given by him. So this arrest was invited by Mr. Kejriwal himself. As far as the timing is concerned, as far as politician or chief minister is concerned, you do not get special privileges that merely because the elections are round the corner, you cannot be arrested. Now let me answer. Nirja is a seasoned journalist, and she's making a point that, oh, charges are not framed and people are not arrested. Well, people are arrested before framing of charges. So it is not something that people have commonly, routinely, people are arrested. That is the reason of investigation. After investigation, arrest, charge sheet, and then comes the question of framing of charges is concerned. Now, third thing, they are saying that he is not convicted. Obviously, he is not going to be convicted. There is no kangaroo's court. There is an investigation. There is a charge sheet that is filed. Charges are framed, trial is conducted, and then he is going to be convicted. So to say that a person can, Kejriwal, oh well, I understand, they think they have a special privilege. Supreme Court has given them a special privilege. They belong to Khas Admi Party. Mr. Kejriwal is a special man. So he has to be arrested only after conviction. He cannot be arrested like a common man is arrested before the investigation if there is a prima facie case.
Now,
so
let me
all
go back
along,
to the politicians.
The hypocrisy of Aam Aadmi Party. Maria, let me finish in 10 seconds. Mr. Kejriwal wants special privileges. He thinks he's above the law. And unfortunately, the Supreme Court has passed an unprecedented order. If that is the case, what is the fault of Manish Sisodia? What is Hemant Soren? Why is K. Kavita in the jail? So I don't think the Supreme Court also meant this is democracy and all. This is an order which is like akin to a parole or a furlough, and such privileges are only granted to people who are convicted of the criminal offence. So according to me, Kejriwal will go to the public shamelessly and brazen, and people are also aware. So this whole liquor scam, the merits of the liquor scam, which was not being discussed, will now be discussed amidst the campaign.
Okay, so the merits of the liquor scam will be discussed in Delhi, which is not being discussed so far. Are you not worried about that, Anmol?
The people of Delhi very well understands the nefarious designs of Bharatiya Janata Party and Enforcement Directorate. And Mr. Hitesh, what is shameful and disgraceful is that you are resorting to casting aspersions on the Honorable Supreme Court of India, on the decision which they have passed today. You want the Honorable Supreme Court to infringe the right to liberty of a person who is behind bars on just mere
Well, we
accusations?
don't use the
You have
unnamed
not
Twitter
even filed
handles
charge
to
sheets
attack
since
and
last 2
criticize the
years.
Supreme Court when
The
the orders are
enforcement
not on the
directorate, being
favor.
an
We
advocate,
are only
you're
saying this
casting
is an
aspersions on the
unprecedented
Supreme
order
Court.
where you have passed
From
a
last
selective
2
order
years,
in
you have
favor
not
of a
filed a
politician.
charge sheet. There's no shred of evidence. There's no proceeds of money. There's no trace of proceeds of money. And the only basis on the which your case is hinging upon is 4 tainted approvers. One of the approver who donated 60 crore rupees to Bharatiya Janata Party. The other is the one for whom Prime Minister
Wait, for
Narendra
some
Modi
time
is
you have just
campaigning in
been
Lok
given
Sabha
a privilege
election.
where he has
The
been
third
released
is
on
his
the bail
son,
for campaigning
who
and
gave
not on the
initially
merit.
8 statements
You
in
don't
favor of
argue
Mr.
as if the
Kejriwal
Supreme Court has
and
passed
then
an order on
overturned.
merit.
Okay,
And
it's
gave
very
9
clear
statements
Don't
that
argue
the
as if Supreme
argument
Court
before
has
the
granted
Supreme Court
imposed
was
order
this
on
that
merit.
here is a
He has just
leader
been given a
and
temporary
convener
bail
of a
for
political
campaigning.
party.
This is the reality of this so-called liquor scam.
And of course, the elections happen once in 5 years, and hence she should be granted bail for campaigning. This comes with
the
lot of
Honorable
conditions,
Maria, the
including that he
Honorable
cannot.
Supreme
No, Abhishek.
There is
Abhishek,
no order
come
on the
this.
merit,
Maria,
so
the
please don't
Honorable
argue as if
Supreme
Abhishek,
Supreme
what
Court
does
has
it do
acquitted
to
in the
your
timing of
entire
arrest.
argument of India bloc? What does it do to the argument that are you not again trying to put focus on liquor policy, because the BJP will be taking it up, that here is a chief minister who has got temporary bail only for campaigning, and he is in jail because of these reasons.
See, Maria, there should be a debate on liquor policy, and 3 questions must be asked in that debate.
and he has to go back
First,
to the jail on second.
Can I please complete?
Yes,
He's
please
going
go
back
ahead.
to the jail.
First question should be, why the then LG, Mr. Anil Baijal, till today has not been questioned on the policy? Second, who are these people who've given donation to Bharatiya Janata Party? Those who were convicted and got a ticket to fight under the NDA alliance. Third, and the most important question that needs to be asked is, why for 18 months Bharatiya Janata Party never took action against Arvind Kejriwal ji? Maria, one more thing I want to tell you today on your show. When you talk about free and fair election, today one India Alliance group went to see the Election Commission on 2 very important points. First point is, there are 10 complaints filed by the Congress and the India Alliance against the Election Code of Conduct being misused by the Prime Minister and the Home Minister. And the Election Commission is summoning the President of the party.
The very fact that they do not have any answers, they are running away from the question.
7% vote share, 7% vote have increased
Abhishek,
by the Election Commission.
I think the answer to that has been given, Abhishek.
Abhishek, answer the question.
Yes, please.
Why are you
Abhishek,
dodging the question?
Abhishek,
on
my
Kejriwal?
limited request would be,
Mr. Jain, I will never dodge a question.
please
I'll
read
call
the
spade a
letter
spade.
which has been
We will
sent
debate
by the
on that.
Election
If
Commission.
Maria will arrange a
See,
debate,
there are
we
too
will
many
answer
people
this
talking.
question
Let me
also.
speak. I can't.
One moment,
Let me
Abhishek.
speak.
One moment.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Please read the letter which has been sent to the Congress party by the Election Commission.
Yes,
My
please.
question is that this
1
chart of
second.
level
That
playing
letter
field,
was
will it
sent
hold
5
from
minutes
today
before the
onwards? I'm not
delegation
too sure about
reached over there.
Because you cannot continue to question the entire electoral process. The people of this country have faith in elections. They are going to cast their vote. And if they feel that there are these parties in opposition who are constantly saying that there is problem with it, why are you shaking up their belief and the faith? So there is a problem with that.
No, Maria, 1 second. You cast your vote, but the vote percentage doesn't increase by 7%. It has never happened in the history.
That has been explained
in
by the Election
2019.
Commission,
No,
Abhishek.
it has not been. 5 minutes before the delegation reached, they updated it.
Okay, Shazia, please speak now.
Punjab Congress is saying Kejriwal is corrupt.
Shazia.
Maria, let him answer. Why is the Punjab Congress calling Kejriwal corrupt and alleging a similar scam in Punjab by Bhagwant Mann?
Congress is calling Mr.
No,
Congress
please
is
answer the question. Punjab Congress is calling Arvind Kejriwal corrupt and they are doing a scam on the civil
Okay, I want
society in
Shazia on
Punjab.
the screen, please.
Maria, can I
Shazia hasn't got a chance to speak. Shazia, please.
Yes. So, Maria, 2 things here. It's very embarrassing for Congress really to defend Kejriwal, because obviously they're fighting with each other in Punjab, and 13 is a bigger number than 7. But the fact of the matter is that it is Aam Aadmi Party which has gobbled up Congress in both the states. And not just that, it is Congress Party which actually shone a light to the scam that has happened. Manish Sisodia is in jail. There have been so many arrests made. They keep talking about electoral bonds and this person Sharath, who's somebody who's been given a ticket by the TDP party. So they're trying to connect it all. They know there's a difference between kickbacks and corruption and electoral bonds, which have only recently been struck as unconstitutional. Not just that, when an accused becomes an approver, it is also a constitutionally mandated and a court-mandated decision. It is not done by ED alone. So please stop spreading these lies. And we will go to every street of Delhi. It's great that Kejriwal is out because we will talk about the
Okay, what does it do to your electoral prospects?
And how much
what does it do to your electoral prospects?
Hawala dealers,
BJP, because they failed to answer this question.
Amit Arora, and why has Manish Sisodia not been out at all?
Why are you not answering that? Why did you take 60 crore from the kingpin of the liquor scam?
What does it do to your election?
Sharad Reddy.
You agree with the fact that Manish Sisodia is extremely corrupt.
What does it do to, does it really give fillip to the election campaign? Yes, it is turned out to be very interesting because Mr. Kejriwal, the moment he came out, came out all guns blazing against the BJP and the centre. But what does it do? Will Mr. Kejriwal be campaigning only in Delhi and Punjab, or will he be campaigning in other parts of India for the India bloc?
See, Maria, the release of Mr. Kejriwal, it has injected energy into our party cadre, and it will be a significant boost for the India alliance ahead of the elections. He'll campaign all over the place wherever the candidates of India alliance are contesting, because his popularity and leadership, they are instrumental assets to the India alliance, and it will certainly bolster the prospects in the electoral arena.
Okay, it will it will help them. But Neerja, let me give you the last word here before I get the newsmakers on the show. We'll be joined by
Maria, please asking who will Kejriwal campaign for in Punjab? Will it be Congress party or Aam Aadmi party?
Ma'am, will you answer that? Why did your party take 60 crore bribe from the alleged kingpin of the liquor scam?
No, you can't answer this.
Or you'll just keep on laughing on yourself?
Neerja on the screen.
Neerja,
the question is that does it really help or does it not help? But certainly it has got interesting in terms of the chatter that it will generate.
Absolutely. And, Shazia is saying that, we'll now get onto the streets and oppose Kejriwal, take him on. Yes, it's going to get hotter and more interesting in the days to come. But just a clarification, which my co-panelists said, that you can be arrested even if you don't have a charge. Those points that are made are the points being made by the Supreme Court of India today, that there was no charge against him, no conviction, that for the last 2 years ED took time to investigate, hasn't come up with anything. Those are points being made by the Supreme Court. And I think if we accept the Supreme Court as the final arbiter,
yes,
the BJP was happy when Sisodia was denied bail. BJP is unhappy when Kejriwal is given bail. It can't be chit bhi meri, pat bhi meri. Supreme Court is the final word. Either we accept it or we don't accept it.
All right, Hitesh, that was a response to the point that you were trying to make.
No, this is not true. I disagree with Neerja.
You cannot be arrested without the
please
charges
don't
being
second guess our opinion. We are absolutely for us. Supreme Court and whatever it says is absolutely unreproachable, and we have faith in the system. We have never. So we are not unhappy.
That is the reason why you have
particularly happy by it. Please don't say that, Neerja ji.
Is that the reason why you overturned the judgment of the Election Commission passed by the Constitution bench?
Hitesh on the screen. Yes. Go ahead, Hitesh. Hitesh, if you can hear me.
So, at the end of the day, the Supreme Court has definitely not said that if the charges are not framed, he can be arrested. Only limited things Supreme Court has said that we are making him, we are passing an order to allow him to campaign. Beyond that, we should not read anything. The only thing that can be read, that he cannot visit the office of the Delhi Chief Minister, he cannot visit the office of Delhi Secretariat, and certainly people will have questions for Mr. Kejriwal when those conditions will be debated in the public at large. So to my mind, it would have been better for Mr. Kejriwal to stay in the jail and run his campaign, jail do or vote ka sympathy, whatever his campaign was. But now to come and face the public it will nothing but expose the hypocrisy of the Kejriwal and his whole argument. He was the crusader and he was once upon a time a proponent that if there is a simple charge, inko jail ke piche dal do. So same Mr. Kejriwal is now claiming and pleading, please don't send me to the jail, please bring me out, give me the special privileges, treat me like a special person. So this is what Kejriwal today stands exposed. His face stands blackened today, and he goes to the public although he will go shamelessly in front of the public, but the mask is off.
Okay, let's see what really happens. I mean, whether the public is convinced by him or by you. Thank you so much for joining us, Anmol Pawar, Dr. Shantanu Sen, Hitesh Jain, Vivek Jain, Abhishek Dutt, Shazia Ilmi and Neerja Chaudhary. We are slipping into a short break. After the break, we'll be joined by Saurav Bhardwaj of the Aam Aadmi Party and Supreme Court lawyer Mahesh Jethmalani. They'll try and decode this from the legalese and also from the political prism. Stay with us.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand.
Big news makers only on NDTV. Telangana Chief Minister on the BJP attack.
100 दिन में वो कितना आरोप लगा रहे मुझे समझ में नहीं आया.
Karnataka Deputy Chief Minister on obscene videos.
I am nowhere connected to it, and it is all their own blunder what they have made themselves.
Rajiv Chandrasekhar on the population report.
And changes to our demography and makeup of our population in the last few years, few decades.
Top news, top newsmakers on NDTV.
I pledge to vote and encourage all my colleagues at Godrej Industries Limited and associate companies to exercise their voting rights. It's the essence of democracy, and we stand firmly behind it. I would also urge everyone else to vote. We are thrilled to join NDTV's pledge to vote campaign and help spread the word in the corporate world and beyond. It's the essence of democracy, and we stand firmly behind it. We are thrilled to join NDTV's pledge.
It's the world's biggest festival of the power of a vote and the power of a citizen.
It is a day we must answer our call to duty as citizens of India.
We get this opportunity to determine how our country will be governed.
It is this constitutional duty through which we can make a difference in our nation's future.
And make India always a better place than it was yesterday.
I certainly plan to vote as long as I'm able to vote.
We are joining NDTV's Pledge to Vote initiative.
Let us make democracy stronger by going out and exercising our franchise. Jai Hind.
Data drives our understanding of any election. What does a dip in voting percentage mean? What are the big factors to watch out for this poll season? Join me, Amitav Tiwari, in a data deep dive only on NDTV, where we decode and simplify the data for you.
The biggest carnival of democracy, India's general election.
Prime Minister Modi makes a formidable bid for a hat-trick.
The opposition is trying to mount a united challenge.
And the southern parties are standing their ground.
As battle lines are drawn,
join us on an exciting journey on the road to 2024. Indian elections, a festival like no other. And NDTV covers elections like no other.
When India votes, you can count on us.
Whenever you use Gmail and you're trying to compose a new email, friends, you all know कि that section जहाँ पे हम email को compose कर रहे होते हैं, वो बहुत छोटा सा होता है कई बार.
What does this interim bail till 1st of June, of course, he goes back to jail only on 2nd, mean for your party, the Aam Aadmi Party?
I think it is a very big thing for not just for Aam Aadmi Party but for whole of India Alliance. It is exceptional that in a case like PMLA, he has got a bail in 40 days and that too for election campaign. I think the place where we are standing in this election is an election of no wave. There is no wave in this election. The government at the center has lost its sheen. People were looking at change. They were constantly changing narratives by the central government. But today when Arvind Kejriwal is coming out of jail, I think the kind of communicator he is, the kind of strategist he is, the way he speaks, and it goes straight to the heart of the people, the common people. I think BJP understands that it will be a disaster for BJP politically, and I think they did understand the importance of Arvind Kejriwal coming out of jail, because the way they arrested Arvind Kejriwal on 21st March and things started getting out of hand for them, there was a strong wave of sympathy for Arvind Kejriwal, and people were believing that this act of BJP was not right. I think if Arvind Kejriwal comes out of the jail, it will be a kind of a double disaster for BJP. And it will be a big boost for India Alliance, because in today's modern days, when somebody does a public meeting in Delhi and it can be heard everywhere across India, I think he will make huge impact on the election prospects of India Alliance.
Okay, will we be seeing Aam Aadmi Party chief Mr. Kejriwal campaign not just for Aam Aadmi Party, his party in Delhi and Punjab, but for other India partners in other states as well?
I think if you look at Mr. Sanjay Singh, earlier he used to campaign only for Aam Aadmi Party, but today he campaigns for NCP candidates with Sharad Pawar ji, he campaigns for Shiv Sena candidates with Uddhav Thackeray ji, he is campaigning in UP with Akhilesh Yadav ji. So you can understand the kind of leader Arvind Kejriwal is. I think he'll be all over India and he'll be all over this election.
My last question to you, Saurabh, because I know that it's time for celebrations at the Aam Aadmi Party office, and all of you have to head to Tihar jail perhaps to welcome your party boss who's coming out today. Bail being granted for campaigning, this is happening for the first time in India. How do you look at the precedent it's setting?
I believe that it is unimaginable. There is no precedent, so it is unprecedented, it is exceptional, and I believe, and the party believes, that it is not without a divine intervention. And this divine intervention is not for Delhi's 7 seats or 13 seats of Punjab. This is basically to bring out big changes, big political changes in the country. And I think the God has its plan, and his plan will be implemented by Mr. Arvind Kejriwal in this election.
Mr. Jethmalani, I appreciate your time. For the first time in India, a politician in jail has been granted bail for campaigning. And the Supreme Court has also said that 21 days here or there should not make much of a difference. How do you look at this order?
Well, I mean, in a sense, the court is right. The 21 days interim bail is not going to, heavens are not going to fall. But the point is that, I have a difficulty with the judgment on the question of principle, right? First of all, bail should never be given or refused on extraneous. There is a bail jurisprudence. The Criminal Procedure Code gives you some broad guidelines as to when bail should be given or when it should be refused. And a lot of it is left to judicial discretion, right? But I just want to quote something, quote a little passage from Justice Krishna Iyer, who quoted Benjamin Cardozo, a very famous American judge, in the bail context. This is what he said. When you're talking about judicial discretion, how it's to be exercised. Judges, even when he is free, is still not wholly free. He is not to innovate at pleasure. He is not a knight errant roaming at will in pursuit of his own ideal of beauty or of goodness. He is to draw his inspiration from consecrated principles. He is not to yield to spasmodic sentiment, to vague and unregulated benevolence. He is to exercise his discretion, informed by tradition, methodized by analogy, disciplined by system, and subordinate to the primordial necessity of order in social life. Now, to give somebody bail because an election is ongoing and is an important election undoubtedly, right? And listen, this is only an intellectual difference with the reasoning of the judges, right? There are no aspersions cast. I disagree with the fact that they passed an order based on an election without recourse to judicial principles. Then there is the additional fact, Maria, that this was a man who since October 23 has refused to obey 9 summonses. That is unprecedented. 9 summonses of the ED. Who gets this kind of indulgence? Right? Any other man who did this, right, there'll be no case for bail. Then after refusing, right, to obey those summons, he then dares the ED to arrest him. Right? Now, the Supreme Court, to each his own. I mean, if they really feel, because ultimately, Maria, it must be said, judicial discretion is a question of judicial conscience. And the judge's conscience feels that they can grant him interim bail. I'm not going to cavil against it. But there are some repercussions in this case. Okay. You are giving interim bail to somebody who flouted the law previously and dared the ED to arrest him. A. B, is going to open floodgates, right? All kinds of people similarly situated are going to make demands for bail for elections. And don't forget, Maria, elections in this country are an ongoing process. There are many so-called federalists in this country who are going to say that we are more concerned about the state elections. But Mr. Jethmalani, will you not say that in this particular case, the politician here continues to be a chief minister and hasn't really given up his post despite being in jail? There have been many cases from Lalu Yadav to Jayalalitha and even a recent one of a Jharkhand Chief Minister Hemant Soren when they resigned before going to jail. In this particular case, Mr. Kejriwal is still the Delhi Chief Minister. Yes, but that's a moral question. I mean, Soren resigned when he went to jail. Hats off to Soren. But Kejriwal hasn't resigned. In fact, the court, because he hasn't resigned, has said he shall not handle any official files in his capacity as CM. So while one may disagree with the court, right, exercise of discretion in this case, right, they've hedged it with sufficient conditions so that he can't misuse or enlarge the scope of his liberty, right? The simple ground on which he's been granted bail, in a nutshell, Maria, is that there's an important Lok Sabha election once every 5 years, right? This is the 18th Lok Sabha election. He was elected as an MLA. He was elected, he was nominated as the CM by his party. So let him be heard in the public domain, because after all, elections are the lifeblood of democracy. So that's fair enough. But you're also of the opinion that this will open floodgates. Mr. Jethmalani, the ED had submitted an affidavit last evening and they had made an argument that right to campaign for election is not a fundamental right. One reading may be that this order makes the right to campaign a fundamental right. No, listen, again, I would not say that this judgment elevates it to a fundamental right? Simply put, I mean, you can disagree with that exercise of discretion. And as I said, I disagree with that. I very respectfully disagree with that exercise of discretion. But The courts have not put it that this is a fundamental right. They've not said it's a fundamental right. They've just said that Lok Sabha elections once every 5 years is a very important event. The man deserves to be heard by an electorate which formally elected. That's all, right? In public. And in 21 days, he'll be back fighting for the very case in which he's got interim bail.
But the Supreme Court has also said that let us not draw parallels with any other case. So it doesn't
That's
really
true,
apply to other politicians who may be in jail.
Yeah, but so far there have been no other parallels to this kind of an order. So the Supreme Court is right, let's not apply other parallels. When other politicians come, similarly situated if they are, as Kejriwal is, and they are rejected, that their bail is rejected, then it will be a cause for complaint, right? So far there have been, I think, 2 cases, Jayalalitha and Lalu Prasad Yadav, who were not allowed to exercise a similar right during elections. And they asked for it, but it was rejected by previous courts.
But they were not chief ministers when they were in jail.
That should not make a difference. That should not, see, that shouldn't, they were elected. I mean, Jayalalitha was an elected chief minister.
But she had resigned from the post when she went to jail.
Yeah, but the fact
and
is,
also in case of Mr. Lalu Yadav.
yes, but the fact is, right, that if somebody who's facing serious charges of corruption doesn't want to resign as chief minister, right? Fair enough, that's his conscience call. Other people did resign, so but this is not, according to me, that's not a significant difference, right? He is a CM minister. He's a CM. That's because he's not resigned. His moral convictions don't propel him to resign, given the predicament he is in. The other 2 resigned.
Okay.
They could have said we still have an appeal pending.
Since you're saying it will open the floodgates, what exactly do you fear?
Well, I mean, all kinds of people, not just people similarly situated, politicians slightly differently situated, right? I mean, Soren has a good case right now to come on the same ground. I don't know how the court will distinguish it. I haven't applied my mind to the facts of Soren's case, but the court will be maybe obliged to give him bail if he so applies for it. So unless the court is saying this is a one-off case, but there will be a floodgates of other people, at least similarly situated or almost similarly situated to Kejriwal.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand.
Big news makers only on NDTV. Telangana Chief Minister on the BJP attack.
100 दिन में वो कितना आरोप लगा रहे मुझे समझ में नहीं आया.
Karnataka Deputy Chief Minister on obscene videos.
I am nowhere connected to it, and it is all their own blunder what they have made themselves.
Rajiv Chandrasekhar on the population report.
And changes to our demography and makeup of our population in the last few years, few decades.
Top news, top newsmakers on NDTV.
India set to vote in phase 4. Big political faces on NDTV. Elections is equal to NDTV. Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Elections क्या हैं?
Election is basically a reality TV show जिससे Big Boss चुना जाता है. The biggest festival of democracy.
मेला है मेला.
हमारी आवाज. Youth की आवाज.
They make hashtags become a voting trend. They communicate their political views with memes. They turn their real ideas into reels. Youth makes elections a lot more fun, and we have just the right election shows for them. As India goes for its 18th general elections, join me, Arun Singh, for 18 Ka Vote only on NDTV. First-time voters, share your hopes and expectations from the leaders in the form of a video message. We'll feature select videos on NDTV.
I pledge to vote. This is the only relationship between those who govern and those who are governed. It is the only way to hold or reward people or penalize them on the governance they have given. It is a centerpiece of our democratic architecture. We have a right which we must exercise.
In the heat and dust of politics, perspective should not get lost. Watch me decipher hard politics through an academic lens, only on NDTV.
I pledge to vote. This is the only relationship between those who govern and those who are governed. It is the only way to hold or reward people or penalize them on the governance they have given. It is a centerpiece of our democratic architecture. We have a right which we must exercise.
The 18th Lok Sabha elections. As always, NDTV has its ear to the ground.
With the biggest pie of 80 seats, all eyes will be on Uttar Pradesh.
Will the Troika ensure the Modi umbrella unites all?
It is the first election in Naya Kashmir since the scrapping of Article 370.
Will the same number of lotuses bloom in the desert, or can Gehlot lend a helping hand to India?
With BJP having matched here with the only pillar standing of Chhindwara fall.
Can Didi once again withstand the saffron tide? Will BJP stay strong in its northeast bastion?
Jhadu ka jadoo or Modi magic? Can Congress gain lost ground in Punjab?
Will Revanth Reddy be able to increase the Congress strength in Telangana this time? And in Andhra Pradesh, will the Jagannath be able to stop Chandrababu Naidu and Pawan Kalyan?
Can BJP win back its only stronghold in the south? Or will it be a Congress consolidation?
Can BJP make a dent in the Dravidian den?
This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV 24/7.
Hello, Moto.
Hi there, very good evening. You're watching NDTV 24/7. My name is Kitty Behel. Lok Sabha elections for 17 seats of Telangana are set to take place on May 13. It's a high-octane contest with the BJP, Congress and the BRS locked in a fierce battle. In 2019, the BRS had won 9 out of 17 Lok Sabha seats. So what's going to be the party's fate this time around? We spoke to former Chief Minister of Telangana and BRS Chief KCR in this exclusive interview. Take a look.
From the tallest leader of Telangana for more than 10 years, life changed quite dramatically for former Chief Minister of Telangana and BRS leader K. Chandrasekhar Rao. But in his political life, KCR has seen several ups and downs, several highs and lows, and he is back on the road campaigning ahead of the parliament election in Telangana. Sir, your party was defeated by the people just less than 6 months ago. Do you see a change in the mood of the people now? What is the reception that you're getting?
I'm getting tremendous reception across the state of Telangana. Why? Because the Congress party gave so many promises to the people of Telangana during the course of assembly elections, but they did not deliver a single promise. Only one promise that they have delivered is free bus for the women. Even that has become a big joke. Women are fighting in the buses, auto rickshaw workers are on the roads. That's the reason people are very angry. More particularly, what I understand is the farming community which was groomed during my regime in Telangana, they were with a lot of self-confidence and they got very good crops. We are supplying uninterrupted power supply to the agriculture. And now that the Congress government has totally collapsed the farming system in Telangana, they are very angry, and I think the reflection will be seen in the parliament elections.
Number 30, the people seem to have been angry with you. What do you think actually were the reasons for your... The people defeated your party, isn't it? What do you think was the reason? Was there anger among the people? Was the fact that, that kind of propaganda that you were not accessible, all that did it? What was the reason why you think the people defeated you? Because the BRS, your government was talking about all that it has done, in terms of the numbers. You showed how you had progressed. So what went wrong?
Nothing went wrong. As a matter of fact, I just now told you, Congress has gone to such an extent. Those were all blatant lies, but knowing that they are lying to the people, they made very, very attractive promises. So people thought that we are settled. Water has come for irrigation, water is coming for drinking, power has settled. Congress thoda zyada bol rahe bhai theek hai. Like that, the margin between Congress and BRS was also very little, It was only 1.8%. It was not so bad. And the party was not routed by the people. We won about 1/3 seats of the state assembly, which is not a small thing. Had we get only 5-6 seats and defeated, that can be called as a rout. But it was not a rout. It was a small thing where the people, out of temptation, and people also believed that Congress may deliver more than KCR. Certain people jumped and we were defeated. Now that they have realized, everybody has realized, Congress has failed to deliver and Congress has cheated them. Congress, unka promises to chodo, which was available during the course of KCR's government, the right to bandhu, so many other things, they are not even giving that.
Many of the candidates of the BJP and the Congress are actually your own people from the BRS alumni. That so many people actually left like that, did that make you anger, disappointed, or you think that is part of the political system and reality?
The question is, basically, so many people is not correct, only handful of people went out of the party. It's very few, which will not make any difference. Politics, it is common, whenever power shifts, there are certain number of sunflowers in each party. They will turn toward the suns. They will turn toward the sun and leave the party. See, try to understand one thing. We can easily understand that. Why did they join Congress and why Congress is accepting them? During the elections, they were in the BRS. They were not playing any role to success of the Congress. Then why they have jumped to the Congress? It is for their self goals they have joined, and people are very angry with them. Many more people, like Mr. Kadiyam Sir in Warangal, has ruined his career. We have nothing to lose there. You are going to see. We are going to come out of Warangal Parliament election with flying colours.
Many people would say you encouraged it, in fact, because in your 2 terms in office, you have allowed leaders from other parties to, the elected representatives to come into your own. You even had ministers who did not resign and they joined your government.
See, the question is, as I told you, there are sunflowers. Some sunflowers also joined my party. It's a fact. I accept it. What you said is right. Similarly, they have cheated me. But in future, we are going to be very cautious about these kind of people.
Are you saying you will hold on to your vote share this time? Because both the BJP and the Congress are hopeful that, BRS vote share will go down and our count is therefore going to go up. In fact, the BJP thinks that your loss is going to be their gain.
As far as BJP is concerned, it is a Goebbels canvas always they make. More than Goebbels. Now, if Goebbels was alive, he would have committed suicide because of the blunderous Go Bells campaign by Mr. Amit Shah. He says that we will touch double digit in Telangana. I am telling, I am sure, because I am the son of the soil of Telangana, I understand Telangana. BJP this time in this parliament election, one or none from Telangana, one or none. You keep it with you, Uma. We'll talk after the parliament results.
Even in 2019, when they got only one assembly seat, they managed to go to 4. So have conditions really changed? Because they are largely banking on the popularity of the Prime Minister, and he is campaigning extensively here.
Prime Minister has totally lost his charisma. What he says is all trash and gas. People have realized it. I'll certainly tell you, country has realized what is Mr. Modi. Because the rupee value has gone down to the lower level, lowest of the lowest, never before in the history of India.
So what are you predicting for them in the on June 4?
100%. Let me continue, Uma. Rupee value has gone down during the regime of Congress. It was brain drain from the country. Now because of his dirty politics, dirty use of ED, IT and so many other agencies, CBI, BBI, his dirty application of those NCs has proved that it is capital drain from India now. The exports have come down, imports have increased, country's economy is in doldrums. He has cheated the farming community. He was responsible for the 750 deaths of farmers at Delhi. He allowed them to sit for months and months together. So he has to pay for it now. Farmers are angry, so many other sectors are angry, and he is privatizing the whole country. Ports, airports, railways, everything is trying to privatize, which is not to the taste of the working class. Everybody is angry. Entire public sector workers are against him. Even 18 lakh industries have been closed in the country since Modi became the Prime Minister, and so much so.
Because they are controlling, in a sense, the narrative, saying that we are becoming the 5th largest economy, now we will become the 3rd next.
It's a blunder, Uma. Where we are. Modi talks about 5 trillion economy for India, which is shameful. Shame unto the nation, you know. What he utters is shameful. Small countries like UK, Germany, so many are upwards than India when compared. America is with 29 trillion economy. China is with 18 trillion economy. It's such a large populous country. It's the populous country of the world now. Where do we stand?
So Mr. Rahul Gandhi is predicting that Prime Minister will not be Modi. Narendra Modi will not be Prime Minister again. Are you agreeing with that prediction?
I don't agree with Rahul Gandhi, but I strongly say that India is not passing 220 seats. They will stuck at 220 seats only.
You mentioned during your campaign that your Khammam candidate, Mr. Nama Nageshwar, can join the centre as a union minister. What were you referring to? Were you saying NDA? Were you saying India Alliance? What were you referring to?
I'll tell you a surprising thing which you may not believe. This time something new is going to happen in the country. All the regional parties are very strong now. They will emerge as a force. It's not the regional parties supporting India or India. It's nothing like that. Either of them has to support the regional parties group. It will be a reverse thing. You will see it. It will happen.
You spoke about the misuse of the central agencies. Your party leader and your daughter was also arrested on March 15th. What was it? Anger? Was it disappointment? What were you going through at that time? And you have not spoken too much about it.
As a matter of fact, I was the first Chief Minister in India who was strongly, vehemently opposing Mr. Modi on so many policies and so on. When they came to Hyderabad, his agents came to Hyderabad and tried to topple BRS government, I got them arrested, all the culprits. And I was dare enough to send my police forces to the central office of BJP in Delhi to catch hold of Mr. B.L. Santosh. That was the angry of BJP party. That's why they have arrested Kavita in a false case. Ultimately, we believe in the judiciary. Today, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal also got the bail. I think my daughter will also get the bail. Definitely, it's a reverse political scam by Mr. Modi. Delhi liquor scam is not a scam. It's a state government liquor policy, you know. Every state has its own liquor policy. Why it was named as a scam? Why, what was wrong with it? And they did not even recover a single rupee. No single rupee was required. Only depending on certain statements given by some people who have surrendered to Mr. Modi, they are playing a drama with my daughter and also Arvind Kejriwal. It is null and void, will come out very fairly. I think the justice will come to us.
You know, before the assembly elections, this feeling was there that because Kavita ji was not arrested, therefore the BJP lost votes. And now ahead of parliament elections, they have carried out this arrest. Do you agree with that? How would you comment on it?
It will boomerang onto them. Kavita's arrest will prove disaster to BJP.
Mr. Revant Reddy says that, you know, as a quid pro quo, you have kind of agreed to allow the BJP to win in certain constituencies in exchange for Kavita ji's release.
What Mr. Revant Reddy makes these statements every day is senseless and baseless. I don't add any value to his statement.
Mr. Revant Reddy also made a very serious allegation on you that you, during your tenure as Chief Minister, you actually tapped the phones of not just your political opponents but your own party men and their family as well. What is your reaction to that?
It's a trash, Uma. It's a simple joke I am telling you. Phone tapping is done by the police people. That is the internal affair of the police department. Chief Minister and ministers only get reports from the agencies which belong to the government. Which way they collected the information, we hardly know. It's senseless, baseless allegation against the government.
And Kaleshwaram was a project that you were very proud of. You spoke about it as a world marvel. And yet, whether it's the Prime Minister or Revant Reddy, the Congress party have been calling it an ATM for the BRS.
It's a blunder what they are talking because Kaleshwaram is still a marvel. Kaleshwaram means just not 2 pairs of a barrage. It has 3 barrages, 19 pump houses, 200 kilometers of tunnels, 1500 kilometers of irrigation channels and also 7 to 8 reservoirs. All of them are intact and the project is very good. Nothing has gone wrong. Even the Nagarjun Sagar was in trouble when it was constructed. Kadam project was washed away. Recently the 2 bridges washed away in Ganges, in Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. All that happens, you know. New projects whenever constructed, some small problems do come up.
So the Medigada sinking of that pier, you think is something that is structural and not something bigger as part of a bigger scam as it is being made out to be?
It's not a scam at all. They allege that we have eaten away 1 lakh crores out of Kaleshwaram project. The whole expenditure doesn't cross 85,000 crores. How come? How senseless is their allegation? It can be easily understood, you know.
Mr. Modi has been, or the BJP as well, have been talking about scrapping of reservation for Muslims on the basis of religion because the constitution doesn't allow it. How do you react to that?
Constitution allowing or not allowing is a different that's an academic subject. But as far as I am concerned, whether it is a Muslim or Hindu or whatsoever, people who did not get their share, people who are still poor, who deserve reservation must get the reservation. It's not a fair thing on the part of the government of India and Prime Minister talking of it. It looks very silly. It's not correct.
You know, you were always been seen as a secular party and therefore the Muslim vote also used to come to you. Before the assembly elections, there was this feeling in the assembly elections that you actually lost out the Muslim vote outside of Hyderabad. Of course, in Hyderabad there's an MIM, but outside of Hyderabad. Do you think that is true, that the Congress was able to take that vote away from you?
No, not at all. Muslims are still with me. Larger number of Muslims are with me. They never go one side, as people understand. My share is there in the Muslims also. Now, Muslims, Hindus, farmers, everybody is angry with the Congress. It is 6th month, Uma. From the last 7th of May, the government has entered into 6th month. It is 6th month running now. They did not deliver anything except speaking trash to the people. They will test the anger of the people in this election.
Mr. KTR, your party leader has been saying that I predict that Revant Reddy will join the BJP. Do you have any reason to say that? Does your party have any reason to say that?
We have certainly a reason. When Mr. Modi came here in an official program, being a Congress Chief Minister, Revant Reddy said, "You are my bade bhai, aage bhi aapka sahkar chahiye." What does it mean? he is clearly accepting that Rahul Gandhi will not become the Prime Minister. Then everybody, because Revanth Reddy is in troubles, he is facing the vote note case, vote for note case. I think that is coming to an end in the month of June or July. I think everybody is thinking, even Congress fellows are also thinking that this man may jump to BJP.
Mr. Revanth Reddy has been using very sharp language against you. It was during your time as Chief Minister that he went to jail. Do you think there is personal vendetta there?
Whatever vendetta he has, it makes no difference for me. But for the language he is using, he is only losing his credibility among the people. It's not me. That will not put any loss to me. But he is the definite loser and he is a self-condemned leader, as everybody knows Telangana.
Has the standard of public discourse in that sense gone down? Everyone seems to be propagating lies very openly or using abusive language.
It's very unfortunate that kind of language is being used in the political pedals, which is not correct, which is not desirable. That needs to be condemned.
This whole thing about North and South divide, one is of course delimitation, second is about resources for the South. Telangana gives 1 rupee and gets back some 46 paise or 43 paise. In this context, is it something that South Indian parties need to talk about now? Political forces here need to come together on this issue?
Certainly when issue comes up, when the new delimitation or any other thing comes up, all will unite and fight for the rights of the South India. And recently one silly fellow like Xiaomi has also made a very bad remark, as if he expresses hatred towards South India, which is not supposed to be. Being an Indian, he should not have spoken like that. It's unfortunate.
BJP is that way seen as a national party, national party with a North Indian base, and Congress was more acceptable in the south of the country. Do you think the character of the BJP is something that cannot suit the south of the country?
It's not like that, but somehow Modi could not expand his party in South India. Even now also, I think he will not get more than 10 seats. Kerala 0, Tamil Nadu 0. The polling is also over there. And Karnataka, they were aiming very high because this Prajwal case, they have lost. Now they must be biting the dust. And I think from South India, they will not get out of 130 seats. BJP may not get more than 10 seats.
Your own party's performance, how do you expect it to be? Selecting candidates also seemed to be a challenge because many of the people who you wanted to contest, perhaps some of them left. And has that become a challenge also now? Because they were not seen as the first choice of your party.
But the issue is we were very successful in selection of candidates. I have given tickets to 6 backward class people. The bases are very happy that they got larger share in the BRS tickets. I think my performance, we will be touching double digit. We may cross even 12 seats in the states. Certainly.
Any chance that you will become friends with the party at the center, whether it is the BJP or the India Alliance? What is your...
I have sufficiently told you, Uma, that this time it is going to be reverse. All the regional parties, once the election is over, the circumstantial leadership will emerge and that leader will get the support of either Congress or BJP. It is otherwise, it's reverse this time. You will see it.
This accusation that's always made against you, that you were inaccessible, that you stayed in your farmhouse, is that something that you think that perception went and that's why you lost out?
No, not at all. See, I was the founder of Telangana. I had to plan so many things, बस बैठो गपशप मारो लोगों को चाय पिलाओ फिर चाय पियो ये कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है. It's rubbish that I was not available to the people. I was available to people. I was touring the state. I was meeting people, everybody. And it's not my farmhouse, Uma. It was propagated wrongly. It's my farm. I love farming, because I'm a farmer, and my forefathers were also farmers. That's why I love farming. I get 3-4 crores of income every year out of my farm. That's why I stay there. And that is very much in my constituency only. That's not away. It's not like a enjoyment kind of there in farming, a farmhouse. It's not farmhouse at all. It's my house in farm. It was reversely propagated. And I was available to everybody whenever it was required.
Will this election the other side of this election determine the future for the BRS in terms of number of seats, and also this government? What is your own party leaders have been saying that it probably not last. What is your forecast for this?
The question of BRS existence will be certain, and it is a vibrant party. We have 60 lakhs of leadership. If somebody thinks we will wipe out BRS, it is foolishness. Nobody can be wiped out, you know. After 2004, Mr. Chandrababu Naidu, his Telugu Desam party was out of power for 10 years. Did it disappear? No, it never happens. A party which is fully established, a party which achieved Telangana state, will never disappear. It will become more stronger.
On the campaign trail with KCRG, with camera person Nagraju, Uma Sudhir, NDTV.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand.
I have a right to decide who will run my country for the next 5 years. And for that, I need to vote. So I pledge to vote, and I encourage all my family members, all my colleagues at Hyundai Motor India, and of course, all the citizens of my great country to go ahead and vote. Vote now and vote forever.
Big news makers only on NDTV. Telangana Chief Minister on the BJP attack.
100 दिन में वो कितना आरोप लगा रहे मुझे समझ में नहीं आया.
Karnataka Deputy Chief Minister on obscene videos.
I am nowhere connected to it, and it is all their own blunder what they have made themselves.
Rajiv Chandrasekhar on the population report.
And changes to our demography and makeup of our population in the last few years, few decades.
Top news, top newsmakers on NDTV.
I have been casting my vote from the age of 18, and I encourage everyone to cast the vote rightly, judiciously, so that we have democratic excellence in India, leading to the positive outcomes and taking us towards a Sunehra Kal and Amrit Kal, which is the need of the hour.
Let me give you a very interesting piece of information. See, information ho ya data, we store it in our storage drives. And usually we have multiple different options. I mean, external drives bhi hoti hain, we got SSDs, memory cards and whatnot. Now, usually you might have a drive capacity of, let's say, 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte, 4 terabyte, etc. But आपको पता है what's the maximum possible capacity right now? I mean, what's the highest capacity hard drive available globally? The answer is it's from Seagate, and the storage capacity is 30 terabytes. It's just imagine एक drive है, a single piece can hold data worth 30 terabytes. अब अगर आपको लग रहा है what about SSDs, so let me give you another shocker, because it's from Nimbus and the Exa drive has a maximum capacity of 100 terabytes. Just imagine 100 TB की स्टोरेज हमारे पास में एक SSD में है. एक टाइम था जब मेमोरी कार्ड्स होते थे of 32 MB, 64 MB. Today we have memory cards going up to 1.5 terabytes. इतने से साइज में. And these kind of drives. वैसे अगर आपके पास में हो तो आप क्या स्टोर कर सकते हो? बेसिकली आई थिंक योर मतलब बचपन से लेके एंड तक जितना डेटा हम जनरेट करें, आई थिंक 100 टेराबाइट से ज़्यादा नहीं होने वाला है. सो वी कैन स्टोर एवरीथिंग इन वन प्लेस विद दीज काइंड ऑफ ड्राइव्स. डिड यू नो दिस? If yes, then amazing. If no, then please let me know by dropping in your emails to tg@ndtv.com.
the essence of democracy, and we stand firmly behind it. We are thrilled to join NDTV's pledge.
It's the world's biggest festival of the power of a vote and the power of a citizen.
It is a day we must answer our call to duty as citizens of India.
We get this opportunity to determine how our country will be governed.
It is this constitutional duty through which we can make a difference in our nation's future.
And make India always a better place than it was yesterday.
I certainly plan to vote as long as I'm able to vote.
We are joining NDTV's Pledge to Vote initiative.
Let us make democracy stronger by going out and exercising our franchise. Jai Hind.
As citizens, we must remember that voting is not only a privilege, but also our duty towards our nation. I, Akash Ori from the DLF Group, pledge to encourage my colleagues, their friends and family to vote for the government they believe in. This is the strength of our democracy.
In the heat and dust of politics, perspective should not get lost. Watch me decipher hard politics through an academic lens, only on NDTV.
दुनिया के सबसे बड़े लोकतंत्र का वो चुनाव जो देश और दुनिया को बदलने की ताकत रखता है। सरकार बनाएंगे करीब 100 करोड़ लोग, जिससे तय होंगे पीएम, पॉलिसी और फ्यूचर। इस सबसे बड़े चुनाव की बड़ी बातों को डिकोड करने के लिए मेरे साथ होंगे देश के जाने माने एक्सपर्ट्स। देश के चुनिंदा शहरों से एनडीटीवी की सबसे बड़ी पेशकश बैटल ग्राउंड देखिए मेरे साथ सिर्फ एनडीटीवी पर, क्योंकि चुनाव मतलब एनडीटीवी।
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Elections क्या हैं?
Election is basically a reality TV show जिससे Big Boss चुना जाता है. The biggest festival of democracy.
मेला है.
This is a famous trading hub for cloth sector. This is where people like Dhirubhai in fact started out their career.
Oh, is that so?
आज मुंबई में क्रिएटिव इंडस्ट्रीज है, बॉलीवुड है, एडवर्टाइजिंग इंडस्ट्री है, बट मुंबई पिछले 20-30 वर्षों में मुंबई हैज लॉस्ट मार्केट शेयर इन डिफरेंट एरियाज लाइक आईटी टू अदर सिटीज एंड अदर स्टेट्स इन द कंट्री। मुझे महाराष्ट्रियन फूड, इंडियन फूड, चाइनीज फूड, एनी काइंड्स ऑफ फूड, थाई फूड, मिडल ईस्टर्न फूड, दीज आर माय फेवरेट्स।
नमस्कार बहनों और भाइयों, दोस्तों एंड ऑल फूड लवर्स, grab a seat at the table, let your taste buds ignite, because this is where food meets politics and left meets right. The love जो आप सब are showing to the show ही पिघल जाए किसी एपिसोड पे डाल दो तो. So let me invite you all to another episode of Polkari. यहाँ का वड़ा पाव है एक स्पाइसी डिलाइट, यहाँ की कटिंग चाय हेल्प्स टायर्ड सोल्स टेक फ्लाइट. भेल, मिसल, दाबेली, पाव भाजी इन एवरी बाइट, ये है मुंबई नगरिया में खाने का इनवाइट. द सिटी दैट नेवर स्लीप्स, बट डोंट यू वरी, पोलकरी पहुंच गया है मुंबई. यहाँ कॉम्बो है एक्स्ट्रा ऑर्डिनरी. Today, my guest has promised me a surprise. He's taking me to one of the oldest parts of Mumbai for a fabulous, pure, asli Maharashtrian meal. So let's meet former Union Minister, Member of Parliament with an avid interest in spirituality, music and travelled, and an Asli Mumbaikar, Milind Deora.
Welcome, Kunal, and thank you for having me on your show. This area is an area famously called CP Tank. CP Tank was named after a Parsi philanthropist and who was one of the earliest people who built a tank, a water tank for the residents of Mumbai.
Okay.
To give them clean drinking water back in the day. And this is the extended part of this area is called, this is of course in an area called Girgaon, close to Thakurdwar.